Who's ready for the Dirt Life Show?
Yeah. Welcome this Monday night. We are live at 5 as we usually are every Monday night. And today we're on episode 86 of the Dirt Life Show. Thank you guys very much for chiming in, joining us, hanging out. Today we have a really, really special guest, one of our longtime people that we paid attention to in motocross, one of the guys that I looked up to in his career. Today's Motocross Monday, so we got Davi Millsaps in the house. He's a very well-accomplished motocross racer. He's got numerous Supercross wins. He's even got a 250 Supercross title, man.
Yeah.
So welcome, Davi Millsaps, to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and to your left, we got one of your buddies, Scuba Steve. Thanks for bringing him in, dude. I really appreciate it.
Goes way back. Way too far.
Well, I think we're going to talk a little bit about all that stuff today. It'll be fun, man, because, I've been looking forward to this all week. As I went on a side-by-side ride with you the other day, and you're like, hey, Davey might be in town during that time, so we'll get him on the show. So I really appreciate both of you guys putting in the effort, even after such a long day, right?
Yeah, I mean, leaving Havasu this morning at 4:30, and, come hang out with Scuba, and he's like, hey, let's do a podcast. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, sweet, man. What'd you do today?
Drove in town, and then went to Paris to watch Carson ride, and then came here.
Yeah, so we're going to talk a little bit about that stuff, too. So now you're helping other up-and-coming riders. You're helping them training, doing all kinds of technical stuff, with teaching them how to ride better.
Just Carson Munford right now.
Yeah, but that's something that you're really into these days. So it's really cool that you're actually like paying it forward to all the new riders and stuff. I know that you help Carson mostly right now, but it would be neat to see you help. In fact, I was thinking about another guy that you could help as well the other day. But it's cool that you're actually doing all that stuff, man. Giving back to the new up-and-comers.
Hey, man, he's a young kid, and for me to share my wisdom and my ups and downs and whatnot, to give him something to take him away from people that are not looking out for his best interest or doing something that I went through, trying to lead him down a better path.
Dude, exactly. So we'll talk about some of that life stuff today. I always forget to mention my own name on the show, so I'm Georgie Hamill. You guys can always hit us up on at the Dirt Life Show anytime you want. You can hit up Davey on his Instagram as well, or go follow him. It's at Davi Millsaps, and it's DAVIMILLSAPS. And if you want to follow Scuba Steve too, you can check out his as well.
He's boring.
He has all kinds of fun stuff, man. His kids are killing it at BMX these days too. So like I said, thank you guys very much for tuning in. Tonight's show is going to be awesome. We have a whole bunch of different topics that we're going to talk about, but mostly we're going to talk about moto-related stuff. We're going to talk about life and racing, some of the stuff that Davy's been through in his life, kind of get into his backstory a little bit. Josh Shorter from Thor, Thor's brand manager, is going to call in at 5:25. We're going to dig back a little bit into the 2021 Supercross season, kind of get Davy's opinion on it. Scuba will give his opinion of being at the races and stuff, and then maybe we'll get an understanding of what we have to look forward to in 2022 for Supercross, or maybe even motocross this year. So that'll be pretty cool. Then I wanted to talk a little bit about, unfortunately, I've had some injuries in my life, so I wanted to ask you a little bit about the injuries that you've had in the show, kind of get back into it and see how you've the most important thing that I think, or the most intriguing thing that I think from you, is how you've been able to push past those injuries and move through them and live your life. So that kind of leads into our last topic that we're going to talk about, and that's like family and moto. Yep. And now you're, kind of reliving full circle with your kids and stuff. So it'll be kind of cool to go through all those different things in in your life. So you guys can always join us on Facebook anytime. We're on Facebook, YouTube Live every single Monday night at 5 o'clock. But you can always check us out on Instagram, like I said, at The Dirt Life Show. Follow us, DM us. Man, you guys have been doing all kinds of stuff, supporting us. There's been tons of pictures. You guys have been submitting all kinds of stuff. It's been really, really cool to see how The Dirt Life is growing and how you guys are accepting it. So keep doing all that stuff. And we want to thank all the sponsors and everybody that's a part of this show, everybody that makes this thing happen. The guys at KMC Wheels, man, they've been a huge help. Hopefully we'll be able to go down to the Baja 500 with them, hang out, eat some tacos, look at awesome racing. Thank you to the guys at EFX Tires. Thank you to the guys over at Shock Therapy. Next week, we're going to have a show in Phoenix, Arizona. It's going to be really cool because we're going to have the guys at Jeffrey's Performance on the show, Lindsey Geyser, RJ, maybe the guys at Shock Therapy come down, hang out with us for a little bit. Who knows? Maybe we'll even get some of the Evo guys to hang out as well. So pay attention for that show. The guys at Zollinger Racing Products, thank you very much to Zollinger Racing Products for giving such awesome products to the UTV industry. You can use the code DIRTLIFE at ZollingerRacingProducts.com and save a whole bunch of money. Thank you to the guys at CryoHeat. The guys at CryoHeat make some seriously good transmissions, man. Those Pro Mod transmissions for the Polaris Razors are awesome. They are all heat treated and way, way lighter than the stock ones. So less rolling resistance in those low horsepower vehicles makes a big difference, man. And thank you to the guys at Solder Weld for always being a part of the show. You can get your off-road repair kit. Use the code DIRTLIFE at solderweld.com and save a bunch of money on that. So I think the first thing that I want to start talking about is a little bit about life after racing. And I want to do that because I kind of want to Tarantino the show. Like, I want to make it so that we can backtrack and see how your life is. Like, right now, what are the things that you do on a daily basis, Davey?
I mean, the last, I would say, 3.5 years, really just stay-at-home dad, taking care of the kids, we built a house, so that was the whole process of almost 2.5 years of building. And then when the pandemic hit, Brittany started working. She got an offer to do a job that she wanted to do, so she started doing that, and I became a full stay-at-home dad. So,
but that's pretty rad, though, man. Not a lot of people get the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I love my kids, and I'm not a stay-at-home dad, so it was like a full adjustment for me. But I mean, I enjoyed it. I got to spend a lot of time with them. And then when they went back to school, and then I got a phone call, and now I'm out here almost every week.
It's crazy, right?
So,
how life just changes and throws you for a loop.
All the time.
So what are your kids' names?
Dane and Bryn.
Okay. So what are they like mostly into? Because you said was bicycles, right?
Was bicycles. My Dane raced BMX everywhere. And then before Grands, he wanted a 65. He already had a 50, but he wanted a 65. And I'm like, well, which one do you want? You know, like, do you want to go to Grands or you want to do the 65? Because it was, I mean, I'm paying for both. I'm like, which one do you want? Because I just want.
But Grands is like a pretty serious level, dude.
Yeah, he was. I think he was first in points going to Grands, and in 7X, first or second in points in 7 Expert.
That's crazy.
And he's without even a hesitation. He's like 65.
Really?
Like, not even a hesitation, and he put his bike down and never even cared about touching it again.
Holy crap, man!
It was kind of I just wanted to just test him, and that was a simple test for me to like, okay, well, if it's that easy for you to say no Grands, you want a 65, then obviously I know where your heart is. So that's the way it went for him. And then he does a lot of the works races. He does, he's done like 1 or 2 big 6s, and then he did the moto for kids. He's done a swap moto. We don't really ride all that much because of where we live. It's kind of hard to practice all the time.
Yeah. There's no like good racetracks over there, is there?
There's one track, and it's 928, and they're only open on some weekends, but those weekends we're usually racing or gone or something's going on.
Yeah.
But,
so you're living in Havasu now. Most of the tracks are down in Phoenix, so it's like a little bit too much of a drive for them to go
3.5 hours.
Yeah, that's too much.
That's a long round trip.
So Steve, what about you, man? You have the 2 boys, Parker and Ezra, and are you and they love bicycle riding, obviously. But do you think that one day they're going to make the same decision as Davy's boy?
They talk about it, but
they want to get into moto or no?
Yeah, Ezra does. Ezra says he's going to be a Supercross racer at some point. But
oh, really? He's wild though. He could probably do it, right?
At least he already has a mechanic as a dad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dane doesn't have that.
Dane's got a good teacher though. I think that's pretty cool, man. I really like the family atmosphere and the family vibe. I got to meet your family about a week ago, Steve, maybe week and a half ago, and it was pretty cool to see all that stuff. So I'm assuming that it's pretty similar what Davey goes through in his daily life. So it's neat. It's really neat to see that. Did he tell you what 65 he wanted exactly, or did he know?
No, he knew. He wanted the KTM.
Oh, really?
Yep.
So he already had it all planned out, you think, in his head?
I mean, he won the 50, the KTM 50 off me from a bet, and I made him a bet that there was no way he was going to win, and he ended up winning it.
Oh, really?
So he got the 50, and then from the 50, he's like, I want a 65, I want a 65, I want the KTM, I want the KTM. And
so you kind of already knew then.
I knew that's what he wanted to do.
You just didn't want to let him.
I was hoping that he didn't really want to go that route, but and so that's I got him that, and then ended up getting him a Husky 65.
Nice.
And he has a Husky right now.
That's pretty cool.
So.
It's fully neat to hear that. Do you remember the first time that you had a conversation with your parents about getting a dirt bike?
Yep.
So was it like reliving that moment
Yeah, I know that my sister and I were driving with my dad in his truck on the way to school, I believe, and when I lived in Orlando, and there was a bike in the back of the truck in front of us, and my sister and I both said that we want a bike, and for Christmas we got one.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, that's super cool. Yeah, and then so Dane's obviously living that same dream right now, right? How long has he been riding dirt bikes now then?
2
Oh, so he's been there for a little bit.
2 years, two and a half years.
Is he doing good?
Yeah, I mean, he does good. Yeah, he, like I said, we don't get to practice all that often.
Wait,
He
how
really
much age difference is it between Parker, Ezra, and Dane then?
Parker's 10. Dane will be 9 next week.
Oh, so they're really close then. And and Ezra's just younger. So, dang, that'd be pretty cool to have them all riding together.
Yeah.
Someday.
Are you going to get them a bike or no?
They have pit bikes.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, so they'll ride those. But
Don't let him fool you. You know Scoob's going to get him a bike.
I know. That's what I keep feeling like.
But like, Dane came over to the house 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, and they went to the track, and then Dane was bummed he didn't bring his bicycle.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's only because they were like, "Oh, you should ride bicycles," and then that's all it was. So he hasn't talked about it one time since.
Oh, I got you. He just knew that his friends rode bicycles, so he wanted to ride bicycles with them.
Yeah.
I got you. We had a couple comments come in. Just Jeff and Casey both said hi. Hi, guys. We're stoked that you guys are actually hanging out. Casey, we hope you're on the mend, buddy. It's really, really cool to understand that story. Like, whenever I think about me racing dirt bikes and coming up through the ranks and all that stuff, I always think about how enjoyable all those little milestones were. And I'm sure that you think about the same thing when you see Dane having so much fun on his bike compared to, like, the way that you went. Like, it's full circle.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's just a little bit different. He doesn't get to ride as much as I did, or race as much as I did. So when he does get to do it, he's all smiles. He loves it. He enjoys it. He hates losing, obviously, but then again, I can tell him what to do, but I'm the dad. He's not going to listen to me. So it wasn't like the bicycle thing. It was, well, you didn't ride bicycles. You don't know what you're talking about. Well, now for dirt bikes, he can't tell me that, but he still doesn't listen.
There's no excuse.
But no. I know what he wants to do. I get what he wants to do. That, and he's growing way too fast. I can't stop him.
You think he's going to be big?
He'll be taller than me.
Yeah,
he'll be taller than me.
That's crazy. Your wife is pretty tall, no?
She's 5'11". I'm 6 foot.
Oh, so he's got both tall genes then.
Yeah,
nice.
And, he's going to be 9, and he's massive.
Dang, that's cool, man. That'll be pretty neat to see how fast he can go through the whoops.
But he was only on 50s for 1 year. I'm like, dude, I need to keep him down. Like, I want him to learn how to ride. And then, so he's 1 year on a 50, and I had to get him to 65, and now he's almost already too tall.
Oh, because he's on the edge of being like too big for the lower age group.
Well, he's too big for the bike.
Oh,
so yeah, he's too tall for the bikes already.
How were you when you were coming up?
He's the same height as Parker.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a little taller than him, wasn't he?
It could be. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyways, doesn't matter. To give you a reference.
And he's a year and a half younger?
Yeah.
Yes.
Holy smokes, dude. That's crazy.
He's taller than I ever was at his age.
Oh, really? That's what I was going to ask, yeah.
I didn't start growing. I guess I was decent, but I didn't start growing until I was 12.
Oh, really?
13. And then I hit a little growth spurt, and then that was it.
Yeah. Just when you were super mini age?
My last year, 85, I hit my growth spurt.
Dude, that's cool, man. I really think there's going to be a good competition level between you guys when the kids start going a little bit more.
Yeah.
When they were on bicycles, did they get to race together and ride together?
They rode together.
Yeah,
They
but
never raced because of the age.
Parker was always that age older.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, and Ezra is what? How much younger you say?
He's 3 from Parker.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So right.
So he's a little older than my daughter.
Yeah.
Dane's basically just in between. That's cool though, man. I think that's super cool that you get to experience it full circle, like I said, though, because there's so many people. I always get this question. If you had kids, you want to have them ride. And I'm sure you guys get the same thing all the time. Like, you want to have them be in the same industry as you. And you're like, dude, whatever they want to do, man.
I always said never.
Really?
I always said never.
All the time.
Never, 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 never.
Like, not going to happen?
I did not want him to ride. I didn't want him to race dirt bikes like what I did. It wasn't more so just out of, spite for the industry. It was more so just all the injuries that, I had gone through and everything that I had to do and stuff like that. It was a lot. It's taxing on the body.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, I'm somewhere near 40 to 45 surgeries and I'm only 33 years old.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
So, I lost a kidney and all that good stuff. So for me, it's like, I don't want him to have to go through that. But then again, it's like, I can't be that big of a hypocrite to keep him from it either.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So
you gotta let him live.
I don't want him to resent me when he gets older saying, well, you didn't give me a chance.
Yeah, and how the heck can you tell him, like, dude, I've been through all this stuff. Like, they don't.
Yeah.
There's no way they're ever going to get it. Yeah.
No.
That's kind of crazy, man. Do you ever think about that? I mean, like, you haven't had the loss of a kidney, but, like,
No.
but you've seen it from the sidelines.
I've seen way too much, and that's
Yeah.
the hard part I have with it.
What was one of the craziest things that you've endured? Because you were with Davey for a long time. You were his mechanic for a long time. I mean, you've known him forever, right?
God.
When did you guys meet? Actually, what?
2001?
I think
Was it
2001?
Was it when you got hired to be on a team, or when was it?
No, he was still amateurs.
he worked at MTF for a little while.
Oh, over there. Okay.
In Georgia, yeah. So for me, I've known him since I was probably 12, 11, or 13.
No way,
12,
really?
Yeah,
Mhm.
13.
Dang, that's cool. Do you remember what your job was at MTF?
I was just coming to hang out at that point.
Oh.
I was coming to hang out and ride and just
And for anybody in our audience that doesn't know, it's
that was it.
Millsaps training facility, and it's in
Georgia.
Cairo,
Cairo.
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 Ca-
You were friends with Charles, right?
Yeah, so it was me and Charles.
So Charles was dating my sister at the time, so they were friends. So that's why he came down
Yeah.
to hang out.
Oh,
And it was just
cross
never-
paths.
Yeah, and then he started going to the gym with us, and he became a mechanic. And then one thing led to the other. Then he was my practice guy for a little bit, and then he went off with Trevor Doney, right?
Yeah.
And
Were you living down there then?
Yeah.
Nice, dude. That's
when
crazy.
I broke my leg, I had to climb down the damn stairs. So it was a pain in the ass.
Oh, really?
Yep.
What, they got a long set of stairs there, or what?
There was an apartment above the shop,
Mm-hmm.
and then it 35, 40 stairs. I don't even
Oh,
know.
it was a lot.
It was a lot.
It was a lot of stairs.
so you were climbing with a broken leg every day?
Yeah. It sucked.
Oh,
And we
man.
lived in the cabin. Forgot about that.
Yeah, I forgot you lived in the cabin next to the
Yeah.
barn.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Charles and Martine.
Always lived.
Were you there when Travis was in there?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Just Martine then.
Yeah, just Martine.
Gotcha.
Travis would come and go, but
Yeah.
I was never like physically there when Travis would come. But yeah, me and my buddy Charles used to short sheet Martine's bed, and then we used to flip his clothes around, and he used to have a meltdown. He knows it.
Dude.
Yeah, Martine is a different character back in the day.
Yeah.
That's cool. And and so for some of the guys that are more off-road guys or side-by-side guys that are listening to the show, they're talking about Martin Davalos. He's also a professional racer who just retired, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you guys still contact him and talk with him?
Oh, yeah.
He's literally been probably one of my best friends for 18 years.
Yeah. So
So-
you talk to him all the time then?
I mean, we brought him over here from Ecuador.
That's sweet,
So
man.
when he came to my house when he was, he had to be 12 when he first came over on an 85. And we met at an FIM World Junior Cup overseas. He came over. His uncle lived in Miami. And then he came over one time, went back, got a little bit better, came back and never left.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. You're just
So-
like, yeah, just stay.
Yeah, I mean, that was the plan, was to see what he can do especially coming from somewhere like Ecuador.
Dude, he's always been such a good rider, though,
Yes.
man. It's pretty insane.
Yeah,
I've
he's-
always really liked his style, actually.
Yeah, he's a good kid. Oh, actually, he's older than me, so yeah, you get my point. But he's fast. He's good. Had obviously a little bit more mental issues when it came to main events because obviously he was heat race champion. But
30 of those stupid things?
I think he has more than that.
It could be. I don't even know.
I think he has more heat race wins than I do lights races, period.
Really? Holy smokes,
he has,
dude.
No, he has like 36 of them.
I don't know. It's a lot.
Yeah, he has a lot of heat race wins.
Dude, that's rad.
Yeah,
Well,
it's insane, and that's awesome for him, because that shows that he can beat obviously anybody.
speed, yeah.
Yeah, but
From 05 till
no, 6. He was
6.
2006
Yeah,
was his first race.
Yeah, start.
It was cool because his first podium, I was on the podium with him.
No way.
Yeah, at Atlanta, Georgia.
Dude, how fun was
So-
that?
Yeah, I mean, my plan was his last race was going to be Salt Lake this year, so I wanted to be there for his last race. I was there for his first. I wanted to be there for his last, but obviously he got cut a week short. But so I didn't get to be there.
Yeah,
But-
dude, that's still so cool. Were you guys super fired up the next week, like after you guys were both on the podium?
Yeah,
Dude.
I passed him for second because I was winning. I crashed, went way back, and I caught back up, and I passed him on the last lap for a sec. I was in third. He was in second. I passed him over to triple, and I knew he was in third when I passed him, so I turned around the triple and I gave him a thumbs up, like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
What race was that?
Atlanta, Georgia. I got goosebumps thinking about it. It was so cool, man.
That is super
So-
cool. There's not many people that can say that. They like celebrated well. The Lawrence brothers got their podium together. That was kind of cool. But that most people can't stand up there with people that. I always look at the podium now. It sucks so bad. Like everybody's just standing there, just being like, "I want to get out of here. I don't like this dude next to me." It's like, dude, come on, have some fun, like what you guys did.
Yeah, I mean, it's there wasn't really many people that I stood on the podium with that I didn't like.
Yeah.
So
Hey, that's super cool though, and I can only imagine how awesome it would be the next week, just like going into training and
yeah,
stuff.
we went back to my house in Georgia, and then it was just it was surreal. It's like we just got second and third. Yeah, JG won the night, but at the end of the day, like we were still cool with JG, but
Yeah.
he never came and rode with us. But yeah, for Martine and I, it was rather cool.
It's pretty. So, were you at the MTF when they were had that
Yeah.
podium?
Yeah.
So, what was it like the next week? Everybody was glowing.
Yeah, same. Yeah. Yeah, everybody was pumped.
Dude, that's super cool, man. I would love to be able to see something like that happen these days. When it's just dudes just having a good time like that. It just seems so much different now. When you have a guy that you can ride with and train with like that, does it make him way more fun? Because I feel like that would be awesome.
You kind of forget that it's a job.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It becomes more just every day. It's just more fun, and you're having fun with them. You can talk crap to them. It's like, I scrubbed it under you, or for me, it was, I was always faster in the whoops than them, and I'd pass them in the whoops, or it was just something to where like, well, you did this corner better than me, or whatever it may be, but you beat me off the starts. So it wasn't like it was a job riding with all of them, because I never rode really by myself back in the day. It was, Martine, Brian Johnson, myself, like Geddy Carley, Freddie Carley.
Yeah, so you had a crew.
I mean, even Yogi and Brock Selledge would come and ride with me. Yogi Ezra
Yep.
they came and rode with me for a while, and then we had a whole group. So every day I got to ride with people, and it just made it a whole.
I feel like
thing.
that fun level and that makes the progression, everything goes so much better.
Yeah.
Like it would just be fun to go to the races instead of being like what you said, like a job.
Well, 20 laps became to where it's okay. You guys take off, because at my house I was the fastest one there.
Yeah.
So in 20 lap motos,
Literally home turf.
I had to catch the first guy way out in front. So it was a challenge to me to catch them. So the 20 laps went by
Nice.
so much faster.
Yeah, that's super cool.
So-
Did you get to experience some of that stuff then, Scuba?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
It
That would be so rad.
It was insane. Like the speed that he would go. It was crazy.
Yeah, I could only imagine. Were you on practicing against dudes on 450s on your lights bike?
I mean, just Yogi.
Yeah.
Yogi was on the 450, but he was already somewhat, retired, and he was out there riding for fun. And I talk crap to him still to this day, just because that was the first time I really got to ride. The first time I rode with Yogi was at his home track in Climax, Georgia, and he was fast.
Was he?
He was fast on his own track, but then he retired and then came over to my house. And when I passed him and beat him for the first time in my own moto, I'm like, Yeah.
Yeah, finally
So,
I got it.
I got you.
Nice.
So, but yeah.
Dude, I always remember like when I was growing up, like watching him ride and like even guys that were a little bit older than him, and I would just get so fired up because they were so fast, dude. It was a completely different world when you get to watch those guys compared to I don't know what I was used to. We got our buddy Josh Shorter from Thor MX on the line. What's up, Josh? How are you, bud? Hey, bud. How are you, Josh?
This afternoon, good to see.
Hey, you got a new haircut, dude. I like it.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, George, is when you get to a certain age, it just stops growing in certain places. For me, it's the back, so I'm like, what the hell? Let's pull a dad lock out. Have fun with it, you know.
Nice.
Whatever. And I'll tell you this much, man. I come out of the bathroom. My daughter's 2.5. I love the conversations about kids and injuries, guys. Oh God, forget about it. But come out of the bathroom and she just stares at me for a minute and she's like, your hair. And it's, yeah, this is a mohawk. You like it? She just goes, oh. It's like, well, that answers that. Whatever. So the dad hawk, why not?
Yeah, heck yeah. Well, thanks for joining us, man. We really appreciate it. So I got a couple guys that you might know sitting right next to me on the left. I got Davi Millsaps here, and then we got Scuba Steve over there on the left, somebody that is close to some of the guys that you sponsor with Thor.
Yes, indeed. Good to see you, boys.
How's it going?
You guys, obviously, Andy G is the man in the field. You know, you guys all know Andy very well.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Yep.
I'm that behind the. I'm the guy behind the guy behind the guy. I just hide out in the office. You know, they don't let me out.
Well, some of the stories that we've been talking about are all the stuff that we've lived our dirt lives with and growing up doing, battling with our friends. Like he was talking about some stuff with Martine. It's pretty cool to see that Davey has all those stories, man. I could only imagine what we could talk about, like little intricate stories on when they had battles at MTF and all kinds of different stuff. But do you have any little stories that you remember about Davey?
Oh, dude. Davey's over here bragging about his whoop speed. Duh, obviously. And that shot, I don't know if it was an ad or just a spread or whatever it was. That shot of you and Travis.
DC.
Yeah.
And my whoops in Georgia, the clay dirt.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Was it stare down in the whoops?
Uh-huh.
No problem. And
Yeah.
or dude, is that a horn on your bike or whatever, or a bell on your bike or whatever it was? Yeah, it was some shit. Oh my God, it was.
That's probably one of my favorite photos ever.
That's a keeper, man.
Yeah.
How was that day doing all that stuff?
With Travis, I mean, it was one of those things where, yeah, Travis was obviously really good in the whoops.
Yeah.
And when I got up to where I could challenge him in the whoops, if not be faster or right there with him every time, we started going through. And the photographer for DC was there. And he's like, can you guys look at each other through the whoops? Because we both could look over, but can you go together and look at each other? And it was just, well, yeah, let's do it. So it took like 2 runs and we nailed it.
Dude, it's so sketchy.
So, yeah, it was. Go ahead.
I've always had a question about it.
Uh-huh.
Did you lose focus on what you were doing and back it off and kind of like tiptoe through them, or were you guys? But because if you do that, you could wad up, or were you guys just wrist locked through that thing? Just
so I don't mean to obviously brag about it, but for me to stare down with Travis through those whoops, I had to slow down. I was quite a bit faster in that set than he was. Yeah. So I had to slow down, and I wasn't going to look over going the speed that I was doing. There was just no way possible. So we slowed down, and we both just hit every single whoop. We timed it a few times just together without looking, just to see if we can get it. And then it was just look over,
to get like synchronized?
Yeah. So one would go outside, he'd go inside, or vice versa. And whichever one, I think I was on the outside. So yeah, I was going outside because you don't have 252 stroke.
Yeah.
And I went outside in 250F, and we just timed it perfectly. So it was just, but yeah, we had to slow down to make sure we hit every whoop, because the whoops that I always built weren't forgiving. So if we did mess up, it was game over, hands down. So
Supercross whoops, dude. No screwing around.
Back in the day, Supercross whoops, not nowadays.
Yeah.
Nowadays, they're stutter bumps.
They're way different.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember when it was, I don't remember what year, but it was Dallas Supercross. And I swear, I stood next to the whoops walking the track, and they were almost up to my shoulder. Like, I was like, holy shit.
Those were fun.
Dude, for me, I'm not a whoop guy like you. For me, I was shitting my pants. I was like, fuck these things, man. Like, I'm barely going to be able to double through these. You would have murdered them.
This brings up a good point, though. It's, Davey, to what you said, the difference is like, when did whoops become an option line? When was it like, oh, you could blitz him or you could time him? You know, when did that happen?
Yeah.
You know,
6 years ago.
And time
it really
struggle.
You really started to notice. I would have to say like 2010, you started having maybe like 4 or 5 rounds be just straight jumpers, and but the rest were skim. Like you didn't have a choice. But then it started.
Is that when they put the setup whoop in the front?
Well, the setup whoop started back in. They had that in 2004. They had more of a startup, but some races you'd have to wheelie into it. Some races you'd have to hop into it, or they'd have it after a big roller to where the roller you'd go down into it.
Oh.
But in 2011, 12, it started getting to where pretty much they were all started to be jumpers. And then finally in 2013, they made it to where you skimmed them. And that was the year I excelled. And not because of the whoops. Nothing to do with my mechanic either. He wasn't any good either.
He was worthless.
But no, in 13 there was only like 3 rounds that we had to jump. Mm-hmm. The rest were all skimmers. And then Salt Lake, obviously, the whoops were ginormous, and they started knocking them down little by little. Every time we'd go out, they started knocking them down because everyone was complaining about them, and it sucked for me. But
that was that time when people were like complaining about, the tracks are too fast and too just basic.
In 13, they made it more technical. They slowed it back down to where it used to be back when I first started racing pro, and it was like, yes, like this is what Supercross needs to be. It wasn't super fast. Everything was about timing. Everything was about still yet timing plus going faster and moving forward as fast as you could. But yet it wasn't like, if you watch this year, everything's wide open.
Yeah.
They're going so fast and
then stopping and turn.
Yeah. And I'm just like, if you go back to look at the old school Supercross days, like people enjoyed the technicality of the tracks look, for example, James would pick out any jump in a rhythm section and make it something that no one ever thought of. Now you can't do that. Now it's the same. Everyone's doing the same thing.
Yep.
And yeah,
dude, I remember back what was it in McGrath days, and they had McGrath and Emig. There was a picture of them. I think it was Anaheim or something, and they were going through some of the 180-degree turns. That was like a wall, and they were standing up around the whole thing. Like that, those things were so sick.
I mean, and you got to think the bikes nowadays obviously can handle the stuff that's thrown at them, but the bikes are so fast now, and now you having faster tracks and faster bikes, but some people aren't making it through the whole season for that reason as well. Slow the track down, make it more technical, and to where you actually have to be a technical rider, like what Supercross really is.
Yep.
Not mixing both outdoors and Supercross combined. That's what I feel like it was. And I'm sorry, but Atlanta, I thought it was cool to be on the speedway, but they could have slowed that way down. That was a little. That was a little
way too fast.
That was way too fast.
Dude, they should have clocked some of those straightaways.
And McAdoo, I don't know how he's alive.
I don't know that.
I don't know. I don't know how he's alive. So that changed the subject right there. But I'm sorry I had to throw that one in there.
Dude, you're right though. Like that was so high speed too.
Yeah. I mean, how bad was that? I mean, 3 rounds and 7 times hit the deck. Was it 7? Am I wrong on that count? I mean, dude.
I don't know.
Props to
a
him.
lot.
I mean, say what you want about the politics of it and whether or not he should have been allowed this and that, dude. Kids got heart, right? I mean, it was incredible to watch. So.
I mean, politics aside, like, should he have been allowed to race after the first crash? No. Yeah. But I don't care about him racing. How is he alive?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, oh my god. Well, and Davies wanted to be able to talk from experience, right? Like hitting your head, dude. Like
not like, I mean, yeah, I hit my head, but I don't know what, dude. That was gnarly.
Yeah,
and like, yeah, he has heart for sure for racing, to still race that night. I don't know if he knew he was racing.
Yeah,
but
that's what I was gonna say though.
I mean, I have no issue with Cameron at all. That's more power to him for sure. But that was dirty, hands down.
Dude.
What do you guys think? At what point does it happen where somebody is in it for the points and takes a dive and tries to pull that same thing? I think it would be an amazing circumstance for it to happen. And to not get called on it. I think it would be totally wild for somebody to tip over in a corner. Oh no! And then when the red flag comes out, they jump back up. I think it would be incredible for them to even pull it off. There's no doubt McAdoo went down.
Yeah, he didn't do that on purpose. He wasn't red flagging that on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I would never say that about the kid.
Yeah.
But God, does it set the precedent? Is there going to be a rule change after this?
There was a rule change where if you caused a red flag, you don't race, because that is taking, literally you're down and now you have to restart because of you.
Yeah.
You're already down a lap or two. Why do you get a chance to start back over?
Because they went back to the lap prior and he was still on the green flag as the reason why, because we were over at the truck.
But again, that track was so long.
Yeah. I was over there for just because I wanted to know, this doesn't make any sense to me.
It's 3 laps, right? Steve, is that right? 3 laps?
It's 3 it's the first 3 laps that they actually go back to the start gate.
Yeah.
But if it's over 3 laps, then they would have done the single file crap like we had to do one year. So,
but still, the whole.
He's not allowed. After that 3rd lap, they're not allowed.
Oh, really? So if they cause a red flag, they're out.
After that 3rd lap, and when they do the single file restart, at that point the rider cannot come back in, as far as I remember from the rule book.
Dude, if we're talking about your question, then they're gonna wait till like 2 3/4 laps, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, I hurt my hip. Oh, I gotta wait."
I don't know. I hope it doesn't happen.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't too, because that just reminds me of like some stupid like football thing where they just laying on the ground, or soccer where they're just sitting
Basketball.
there. Yeah, whatever it is. It's like
the flop.
Dude, I remember seeing a picture. Actually, I think it was you, dude. Did you break your finger at a race and keep racing that same night?
No,
I don't know who it was, dude.
I think that was Pike.
Maybe it was. I could have swore it was you, though. But anyways, they posted a picture online, and it said, it was like a Kobe Bryant and let's say Pike, and both of them had broken fingers, and they were like, "I still raced. I sat on the bench." It's like, dude, you can't.
They had the 3 photos of, one was with me, one was with who's the dude from the LA Clippers, redhead,
Blake Griffin, and then another basketball dude, and it was because I raced 2017 with
two
broken wrists though.
Oh, okay.
I had 2 broken wrists basically the whole 17 season, and that guy had a sprained toe, and Griffin had a sprained toe, and the other one hurt his ankle or something and couldn't play for the whole season. So it was just a big meme thing going on.
Yeah, like quit being a pussy kind of thing.
Pretty much.
There's the one. Yep. There's the Chatapult one.
Yeah.
It's Chad in the 20 feet in
the air
in Millville, and then it shows him back on the bike, and then it shows the soccer one of the soccer guy rolling on the ground.
Yep.
Shin, and then big stretchered off of there. So,
dude, that's crazy. But that does bring back to like Davy's point, though, is like the technical parts of the track and like slowing it down. Like nobody ever likes the word slowing it down, but slowing it down makes it so much better racing.
You get way better racing.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you've been around watching for a long time. You remember back in the day when it was all close. Like that is imagine that for 20 minutes. Like that's great racing. Now you only have 1, 2, or 3 dudes up there, where if it got technical and it slowed it down, you'd have a lot more.
Yeah.
And
I say this a lot these days. I've been saying it for years now. And don't get me wrong. I mean, this is my industry. This is how we survive, right? I race a 450 in the fat old slow guy class, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. I take advantage of the technology. However, when it comes to the professional level, at these speeds, on this technicality, on these tracks where it's like, oh, I got a bike now, I can huck 130 feet, second or third gear, depends on the lip. I don't know, at speed. And it's like terminal velocity for you guys at the top level of it. It's too much. And to your point, hey, just slow it down. Keep the bikes, but make it more technical, more interesting, to where you got to learn some finesse. You got to learn some
yes,
to get
yes. Finesse is a fantastic way to say it.
Yeah.
Instead of don't put stupid walls. Stop putting your stupid walls in and just slow the track down. Make the jumps to where you actually have to time them versus just going as fast as you can through them. Like time them and still yet try to go fast. Like that's how you create better racing
and make it so that you can choose different rhythms.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. Did you get were there times when you were at the track and you were just you walked the track, Steve, and you were just this is going to be fucking one line and it's just going to be doubles the whole night? There's no passing.
Past 3 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. To me, that seems like a guy that goes to the races every weekend and you had that would be like going to work and not having any fun and eating a fucking peanut butter and jelly sandwich every day for so long. That would suck, man. I would be so upset about that.
My son eats peanut butter and jelly every day, so I get that one.
You're like, dude, do you want something new?
He's like, no, I like peanut butter and jelly.
That's it?
I'm like, okay.
Hey, so whoever's running the Supercross races and designing the tracks is the same way.
Pretty much.
Cool. What else, George? What else going on?
I was just going to say, are you proud of your boys, man? They did so good this year.
Yeah, I tell you, couple things about that. One is for Coop. I told him after his first big bike title, I said, man, you did the unthinkable. It's huge. So few people will ever learn this. Wonderful. I said, getting that second one though, woo, it's gonna be a tall order. I said, dude, you got the team, you got the bike, you got everything behind you to get this done. You're going to accomplish it again. Next year, 2 in a row. I don't know, man. So, and I'll tell you what, if he didn't have that big get off in Dallas last year, he would have been on point with that thing. So, but coming through this year, racecraft, fearless. You gotta love that kid. I mean, I've always been a fan. But
what do you think about that racecraft, Davey? Can you explain it? Because you've been at that level.
Look, I like Cooper. I've known Cooper since he was a little kid. He broke his femur in my front yard. So I've known him a long time. He broke his femur in my front yard doing this, standing up on his 80, going next to my fence, doing this, and he got head shake while he was doing this and broke his femur.
Oh man!
So I've known Cooper a while. Now, his racecraft. When he's riding against a Tomac or Anderson, Cirillo, his racecraft is, he tries to bulldog past them, but then when he gets on Kenny, his racecraft changes completely. He is a different person. And then you have Kenny turns into a different person when he knows Cooper's behind him. So
it's mental between those two.
That racecraft that you're seeing with Cooper when he's behind Kenny is, if he was like that, he'd be passing all of the other guys way faster. And his racecraft when he gets on Kenny, he mentally knows that he has Kenny. He's got him.
Blood in the water.
And that then terminates Kenny's thought process to then it makes it look like his racecraft is even that much more heightened. So it's pretty cool to watch him. Look, I like Kenny. I love Kenny. And I'm a Kenny fan. I am. So, so watching that kind of is upsetting because you know how fast Kenny really is.
Yeah.
And when Kenny's racecraft is on point, no one on that gate is at his level. No one.
Yeah.
When he's on point. No one. But then you see when Cooper gets behind him, the racecraft it's tenfold. And it is super clever. He watches and he's very, very, very smart. He watches and he learns every little thing of what Kenny's doing and where he can get him multiple times every single lap. And he just waits and waits and waits because he knows he's going to get him at just what point. So it's pretty clever. But we watch him come through the pack. If he had the same racecraft or mental
focus,
not just focus, but just had that over everybody. He'd get
strength.
Yeah, he'd get through the pack. If he had the mental confidence that he has against Kenny, against everyone else, he'd pass him way faster.
Like a superhero power.
So his racecraft when he gets up on Kenny, because Kenny usually is in the front, but I don't know if anyone agrees with me, but that's just the way looking at it. That's the way I feel from the outside looking in.
Coming from somebody like you, it's really interesting to hear that because you've been there, done that kind of thing, and it's neat to see because you can pick those little intricacies that make that difference. You can go back into the years and start looking at people who have raced each other for those battles, and it's if that person mentally knows they have them, the racecraft changes completely. Did you have somebody that you were like that with?
When it came to whoops,
Yeah, you had everybody.
I could dodge and weave in and out of anyone in the whoops. But yeah, like in the lights class, it was pretty much anyone I raced against in the lights class. That's how I was. 450 2013, pretty much how I was. But yeah, I mean, so to go back, yeah, it's his racecraft is really, really, really crafty when he gets into that second place behind Kenny.
Never occurred to me.
Yeah.
That's a great point. It's like, oh, the next guy up is Eli, and he's 5 seconds away. It's gonna take me a while to get there.
Yeah.
Oh, the next guy up is Kenny, and he's 12 seconds away, and then on him.
Well, I know Kenny crashed, but he only lost like what, 3 seconds? 3 or 4 seconds?
Kenny gave it to him twice this season.
Well,
So,
Kenny gave it a lot this season.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
To your point, he kind of the wheels come off for him. Coop's behind me.
And it's and again, dude, like I'm a fan of the sport. Like I love watching racing. I do.
I'm a massive Roxon fan.
Yes, and I'm a Kenny fan. I really am. Unfortunate for his accident. But then you have Cooper, and Cooper had his arrogant moments growing up. Hands down, who didn't?
Yeah.
And now like he's with basically my second dad. Carlos is like my second dad. So now he can't talk shit to me no more. But he's a better kid now, and he's awesome. And you watch him and you listen to him and you see the way he rides, and he's very, very mature as a racer, and he knows what he's doing. And unfortunately for everyone on the gate, he already has him beat. So that's his strength right now. That and he can just do 20 minutes plus a lap.
Yeah, like no
as
problem.
hard as he wants.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty rad. How are those 250 guys, man? Because you came home with a bunch of championships this year.
It hasn't for an apparel brand, for Thor doing it this year. It hasn't happened since 1986.
Whoa.
So the last time East, West, and now 450 was won by an apparel brand was 86.
That's crazy.
Before I was born.
It was pretty good. And I thought, when it was coming, we had to put all our media, our mag ads, our web ads, all that other stuff, patting ourselves on the back, all that crap. But we got to do it. We got to brag about it, right?
Yeah.
We're putting it together, and I'm like, well, yeah, sure. The last time it happened was, let me see. Villapoto won all those titles on 450, and we had the pro circuit team in Thor at that time. So sure, we won 3 in a row not that long ago. And then I start nerding out in the vault and going back and cross-referencing photos of, did that guy wear Fox that year? Answer that year. What was that guy wearing? And I thought 92 was the last time it happened with Axo, but it wasn't, because Swink won the title in 91, and by 92 he was on Answer and all this other stuff. Anyway, I nerded out hard on this history lesson.
Yeah, you're going back to Swink days.
Dude, that's cool.
But it went all the way back to 86. So it was Fox for all three, and it was Ricky Johnson, Keith Turpin, and Ronnie Tishner. Yeah,
RT.
Those 3 guys. 86. That was the last time it happened. So
I don't think I even knew dirt bikes existed then. I think I was like,
I wasn't born,
yeah,
so I
you were
didn't.
born. That's crazy, man. That's super cool, though. Yeah, like, you just kind of humbly said patting yourselves on the back, but you should, man. That's fucking awesome.
It doesn't happen that often, so we're definitely really.
So that was the first time for you guys.
What's that?
That was the first time for Thor.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Correct. Yep. So yeah, it's pretty. I mean, kind of on a tear right now. You can't deny it, to your point. Being aligned with Star for the 250s and now the 450 program. It's an exciting time. We got a lot going on, and as you guys know, Andy out at the races, he's busy as hell all the time.
Got a lot of checks to write too, obviously.
Not my department.
Yeah.
Somebody hit me up right after on finals, and he was like, "Dude, how those bonuses looking?" I said, "It doesn't come out of my budget."
Nope. You're good.
That's
You're
over
good.
here. Don't worry about it. So,
That's pretty cool. I wonder what if there's ever been, like, can you remember a time when any other riders like on the same team all swept the podium? Like, was that just pro circuit?
Us last year.
Well, me for
No.
Honda.
Before that is what I was asking for Steve, though, because I knew that you-
Yamaha, and like when it was Villeman, Ferry, and Reed, maybe.
so that was like 8-ish then, 2008, 2010-ish.
No, like 02, 03.
And then it was you guys after that?
Yeah, it'd been a hot minute, I think, since then.
For what? Manufacturer?
Yeah.
Yeah, sweeping the podium.
Well, Honda, me, K-Dub, and
what year was that?
Short 08.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So was it all four? You guys were
All 450s.
Okay, so it was 08 then last time.
Yeah. Dude, that's crazy.
Supercross?
Atlanta. I won.
Oh, that's right.
K-Dub got second. Shorty got third.
Nice.
So it was 08.
Did KTM do it?
Yeah,
last year?
they've done it quite a few times.
What's that?
KTM's done it quite a few times, haven't they?
Not all. Well, they've only had 2 guys.
Yeah, 2 guys.
But
Yeah.
The one where Baggett got up there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I thought
Baggett.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not like manufacturer, yes, but not like one
team.
team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so then K-Dub was
Geico.
factory
Geico. Yeah. So
Yeah.
like, the last time a team
Well,
did
he
it,
was
I
still
think,
on the same bike, but
brand, yeah. But the last time a team did it with 3 guys was Reed, Villman, and Ferry.
Wow.
2, 3, somewhere else.
Well, the only reason I want to bring that up was not to have to understand it, but like to understand how limited those you got to pat yourself on the back, dude. Like those things are few and far between, so you should be stoked on your guys.
Hey, man, we're just making noise the only way we know how.
He grew a mohawk for it.
Is that what it was?
That was it.
You guys all win. You guys all win. Here comes the mohawk.
Dad Hawkins.
I like the dad hawk. I like that.
Hey, have you been riding it all, Josh?
I did my first desert race last month. Actually.
Really?
Well, you remember Casey and I were talking, and Casey's like, "Dude, let's team up, do the Mint, and check it out." I'm like, I've raced a ton of motocross. I've lived my entire life riding the desert, and never raced it one time. And they did that Biltwell 100 up at Ridgecrest.
Yeah.
Why not? I've only been drinking.
What
beer,
bike did you
drinking
take?
weed. Let's get off the couch and just go racing, and it was awesome.
What bike did you take up there?
My 450 needs a lot of love right now, but my 250 two-stroke was ready to go. Yeah, so they did rubber band start, all old school, and I was the first guy off the line. You can see in the video, I was first guy off the line, and then the 500s and the 450s just went like this. The first mile of a desert race was the dumbest thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
And you're talking about a guy with the shattered femur and broken every quadrant of my body and everything else. And in the first mile of pure blindness, wrist locked at 80, I had that thing geared. And wrung out, and I'm just tucked, and I can't see anything.
Yeah.
It was the dumbest thing I'd ever done. But rounded mile 1 in 10th or 12th. It was 25-mile loop, came through pit row, and crew chief's holding this up. Granted, I signed up in the vet class, but it's 165 total riders, but I signed up for vet expert. And they're like, Shorter, you said you never raced desert before. And I'm like, dude, I know what I'm doing. They're like, okay, whatever, you'll see. And I was like, I come through pit row, and my guy holds up, and I'm like, no, there's a bunch of young fast dudes here. I'm not in third. He's like, you're the third person to come across here.
Third guy in line? Holy shit.
Holy shit. He's like, go, just freaking go, dude. I'm like, ah. Out. So it's fun, man. I ended up third overall. It was killer. And they called me up on the podium, and he's like, I just want to say, Otto for Bill, he's like, I just want to say that I always say this, some of the fastest dudes out here, the fastest guys out here, they're the 50, 60-year-old dudes. They've been doing this forever. And I get up to accept it. I grab the mic out of his hand. I'm like, God damn it, Otto, I'm not 50. I said, I'm like, that said, I'll be 44 this year. Thank you very much. I had a nice time, and walked off. I was like,
dude, that's super cool, though. You never thought that you'd like going out in the desert just holding it wide.
Dude, it's really fun. That first mile will scare the crap out of you, but it's really fun.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about this before the show, and like the dust and stuff. Davey just actually got rid of his side-by-side because we're all big side-by-side guys these days, right? Actually, we got a comment come in. Adam Fitza said, let's get these boys in some Polaris Razors. Actually, Steve already has a Polaris Razor, and Davey
I'll take one. I'll take one.
He
I'm
lined
say
up.
no.
So, yeah, I mean, like we were talking about it before the show, like when you go on a desert race and you're out in the dust, like there's almost zero way you can win unless you're the first dude that takes off.
Yeah, you know how it is at riders meeting. Okay, everyone take your time. You can't win the race in the first mile, but you could lose it in the first mile. And I said, bullshit.
Yeah, the first dude that gets the whole shot is going to win.
you got to be gone, dude, because if you lose sight of those guys, forget it, so it's intense, man. It's really cool. Casey got broke off real bad, of course. And
yeah.
I just talked to him a little bit ago. We're messaging, and he said he's healing.
I know.
He didn't tell me to take him out he didn't say to write him off for 400 yet.
So I don't know if I told you, Steve, but Casey Peck wanted to do the Mint 400 this year.
Yeah, I remember talking about that.
He was actually talking with Josh about maybe teaming up and doing it together or something, which would be super cool if they did it. But since Casey compounded his fib, I don't think he's going to be able to make it. But we'll see. You never know. We don't heal the same way as we used to.
Modern medicine, man. Modern medicine.
Dude, he just got the halo off that leg, man. So he's still healing it up.
He's all, a few surgeries. And I'm like, what? Jeez, dude. Come on.
Hey, we're sitting next to a guy that knows about surgeries a little bit over here, too.
Just a few.
Oh, only a couple.
Dude, so what's the plans for 2022 for you guys? Obviously, you guys are going to have new apparel and stuff. Dude, I got to talk to you about getting some mountain bike apparel. I got an e-bike.
Oh, there you go.
Dude.
For the soul, man. Let me know.
You got a mountain bike?
Back in stock first, because you know how I'm sure you guys all know. The motorcycling industry. It's unfortunate the reason behind it, but everybody and their mother's brother's got a bike now.
Yep.
You can't find kid bikes in California. Like, it's blowing up. So as far as getting apparel in stock to sell, or give you, George, I love you. I give you anything you want.
It doesn't.
I don't have anything.
I'll have to go to motorsport.com and see if I can buy some. But hey, so speaking of the e-bikes, do you guys have mountain bikes, or do you have an e-bike maybe?
I got both.
You got both? What are you running?
For e-bike?
Yeah.
I got my Levo. Specialized Levo.
That's the one I was going to get, but I didn't want to drop the money, dude. It was so expensive, so I just got an Intense. But, I'm not ever going to max out that bike. So, I love it.
I enjoy it.
Did you get the Taser then?
Yeah.
Did you get one of the MX models? Those things are dope.
It's red, yeah. It says it's dumb because the brakes are on the wrong side. Because they did it it must be the motocross one because it has the moto front brake on the right.
I can't do that.
I can't either, so I'm already got the tools to switch it.
I don't understand. Moto dudes like to switch it, and I'm like, dude, if you can't differentiate your mountain bike from your dirt bike, then what are you doing?
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm trying to keep it mountain bike style.
Yeah. It's
I really don't understand it. I hear it all the time. Oh, I switch them.
For what reason? If you ride it enough, you should know that the brakes are different.
Dude, I've rode it 2 or 3 times, and I can't get used to it. I'm like, this is the back.
I would eat shit hands down.
Yeah.
I would.
It sketched me out. Do you have a mountain bike shorter? E-bike?
Not an E. No, I haven't gone there yet. So, and they're great. I mean, it's funny. I was talking with MC about it when he got his first Specialized, and he's like, God, check it out. And I was the typical bicycle guy. Yo, cheater, it's lame, whatever. And he's like, Shorter, what's a good ride for you? And I'm like, oh man, just a decent average ride, 12, 15 miles, hammering some hills, getting the sweat. That's sick. He's like, yeah. He's like, well, I go out and do 30, 35 miles or something like that, And I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess if you're getting that much more seat time in, it makes sense. And plus, you can play with the intensity and get, you can get your workout out of it too. So
but that's not fun.
Dog on it. I can't.
No, going fast is
turn
fun.
that thing all the way up,
Boost.
or just don't ride it. So.
Dude, I can only imagine going on a mountain bike ride with Davey. Dude, he's probably ripping. No, but for me, it's it's the great equalizer, right? So I can actually get out there and have some fun with all the guys. But it's super cool because I don't run it on boost because I'm not used to it yet. I've only ridden it twice, I think. And so this is basically, I rode an e-bike 8 months ago, but I only got to ride it twice.
Yeah.
And then so this is basically my re-entering the mountain bike world after almost 20 years, dude.
Jeez.
So, for me, it's I'm a full-on beginner again. I'm not going out full boost like Millsaps over here.
So I run it on – so there's Eco and then 1, 2, and 3. I'll put it on 1 most of the time because that's plenty fast for me. But especially in Havasu, there's no traction whatsoever, so you can't go much faster.
It's all shale, right?
Yeah, it is. It's
silt.
right on the moon.
Mm-hmm.
But I like my Epic. That's the bike of my choice if I'm going to go ride. I enjoy that suffer of actually feeling like I did something. Because when I ride the Levo, it's great for, someone like you that's getting back into it, or someone who is way overweight that's trying to get into it and wants to have fun still, but yet still burn a lot of calories and get what they want into it, but are out of it. But for me, like I want to go out and I want to feel like I did something.
Yeah.
So I enjoy my Epic.
What are you running right now, Shorter?
I'm running a Plus. Actually, one of Haro makes a pretty sweet little Plus bike, so I just have that thing. So I ride. That's all we ride. We're a Haro Mozzie family, because my missus was there for years, so we just have one of those. But it's fun, man. Big fat tires and stuff. You can push it pretty hard on like downhills and stuff like that. So just fun.
Yeah, we're gonna have to definitely hit up a ride sometime soon, man.
I want to go check out Havasu because old Davey, you out there? You get with Fischetti out there? I know he's all over the trails out there and stuff.
Yeah, he's out there.
You mean mentally or riding?
Maybe
I love
both.
you, Fish.
Maybe both. Yeah, fish is definitely out of the water. But no, he's a good guy. But yeah, there's like 88 miles of trails out there. There's a lot of trails now.
Like good trails though?
Define good.
I don't know, like the ones that you want to ride all the time. You're like, oh, I'm going there because it's the baddest one.
No.
Okay.
But there's the ones, they're the only ones there, so you're going to ride them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, they're not, okay, for Havasu, they're fantastic. They're great. They're really not, oh my God, all that bad. Just make sure you bring a spare tube or two. I mean, I know you run tubeless, but yeah, they're so rocky and the sidewalls are gone.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, I can go out and do as many miles as I want, and it's a good workout. It's fantastic. But where I live is 7.5 miles from the trails. So it's all downhill to get there. So I ride from my house there and then turn around, do all the trails, and go home. So it's 7.5 miles really to climb all the way back home for me.
That's pretty good though.
So
you're feeling that burn on the way.
The biggest, I think the steepest, probably the dumbest hill in Havasu is the one to my house. So I end the ride with the biggest hill.
That's
So,
good though.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Any more?
That was sarcasm, by the way. So
Any more mountain bike races for you, Shorter?
No, not lately. It's tough to just get out and race moto. You guys know, you get a kid and then all of a sudden it's like, I got to prioritize my child over things. That's fun. Fortunately, she wants nothing to do with, Barbies or bears, man. All she wants is wheels. So, she's out here riding her little, she's got a little Power Wheels motorcycle. She's ripping around the house, wrecking into everything. Like, perfect. I love it. So
Your kids both do that or no? Like wheels?
yeah, my daughter rides her stay stick all over the place or her mountain bike. And she has the Polaris little Hot Wheels thing from Polaris. And then obviously Dane has his stay stick. Dane has his mountain bike. Dane actually rides a Super 73 now all around. And then, and then he rides his dirt bike every so often, rides my 110. So yeah, he's
wheels for sure.
he's, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously
Apple didn't fall far from the tree on that one.
and Scuba's kids, they love some wheels too.
I think Scuba loves it too, though. He loves it. He loves him some wheels.
he just likes the Razor though.
I like the Razor. It's way easier.
Yeah.
That's living in
When he
chill
can remember
right
it,
there.
yes.
Yeah, when I can remember.
When he can remember it, it's awesome.
It is.
We won't talk about that story. He got his car all fixed up. The wife was happy, man. We went out on a little ride. We were good to go. He even got to take the Unicorn YXZ out for a spin.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was different.
It's way different than the Razor, right?
Yeah,
So-
definitely different.
They're wicked, man.
They really are. Have you ever driven a manual side-by-side?
No, one of our crew has one. He actually races and stuff. I want to drive that thing because they look fun.
Have you ever, Davey? A side-by-side with like that shifts like a dirt bike?
No.
Yeah. So the
You
one
got
that
like a 6-speed, right?
they have it's a 5-speed sequential, just like a motocross bike, except for it has a lever instead of a shifter on your foot. So it's pretty crazy. And mine is a little bit different because it has a clutch like a dirt bike. So Steve got to try that out, and he's shifting it, and like they rev to like 11 grand or whatever, and he's shifting it, and he's shifting it like 5 grand. I'm like, no, dude, shift down a couple gears, like let this thing sing a little bit. And then he started feeling it, and like he started getting all drifty. It was pretty rad to see him go.
Yeah, those things are wicked, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. So,
All right. Well, hey, thanks for joining us, Josh. We really appreciate it. And I just wanted to say congratulations with all the success you guys had this year, man. Those riders did a fantastic job.
Thanks, man. We're having fun. Just just enjoying the hell out of it for sure. So cool and great chatting with you guys, man. Steve,
You too.
You too, man.
Good to talk to you guys. So we'll see you somewhere here and there. Davey, my folks retired to Havasu a bunch of years ago, so I'll look you up out there at some point. So
I'm there.
know where to find you.
It's not a big town.
All right, homie. We'll see you later, bud.
All right, you guys. Talk
See ya.
See ya.
See ya. That's pretty rad, man, when you can have those types of conversations with industry leaders like that. Like, I'm pretty pumped for him that his riders did such a good job. It's not easy being somebody behind the scenes, Westfall, like there's so much preparation and so much that goes into just having the guys show up at the starting line. It's pretty rad that he was able to accomplish all that stuff.
He doesn't know.
Davey shows
no
up to the
idea.
starting line and has no idea what you guys were doing back in the truck.
There was no prep for me behind the starting
Zero.
line.
None. Boots come off, mandatory 20 minutes.
Just hanging out.
Yeah,
That's your favorite.
It is
That's
because it's the truth. It's
Well,
God's
it's not
honest truth. If
My fault. It
somebody
takes
acts,
you too long. It takes you so long to change
doesn't
something. My
bullshit,
boots have to come off,
dude. If
'cause
it
not, they're gonna
did
dry
not
out.
matter, it didn't matter. I could have just had to just check something real quick or put gas in the bike. It didn't matter.
Well, your gas went to. You gotta have a dip. Then you had to walk over to spit it a couple times. Then you filled up a gallon. Oh yeah, it was. You're such an idiot. So no, the whole joke was whenever we were testing, it was whether it was suspension, because we tested suspension a lot, or anything to do with motors, or whatever it may be. When they were doing a long
riders got to
change,
sit there for a long time.
my feet, they get hot.
Yeah.
So my boots would come off, and then he's like, we got 20 minutes every time. So I'm like, I had to let them dry. If not, they were going to kill me when I took them off because it smelled so bad.
Yep.
So,
And your feet are going to hurt.
I didn't want to get blisters, man.
Dude, I feel you too, man. Not that I was ever at that level in motocross, but when we were at the professional off-road doing all that stuff, whenever you go testing, you have to take your outfit off, like right when you get out of the car, because you got to sit there for fucking hours, like waiting for shit to get done.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I was the slowest mechanic on earth.
Dude, it takes a long time to do the mechanics work too. Casey's over there laughing, man. Well, we hope you're feeling a little bit better, Casey. We're going to go to commercial break. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Justin, the founder of Shock Therapy. Shock Therapy has been around for 5 years, but we have personally been tuning suspension on off-road cars and race vehicles for over 25 years. We tune between 10 and 15 cars per day, every single day of the week. Our concentration is tuning shock systems and supplying components that improve the ride quality of your car in many ways. Not only do we work on the average UTV, but we also tune suspension for race teams and professional drivers. We currently tune for over 87 race teams in Best in Desert and Score. Our clients and race teams rely on our suspension components to allow them to win races and keep them safe. Suspension is a moving target. We are always trying to hit that target with every customer that we work with. Each customer's needs can be different, and we tune our kits accordingly. Our research and development never stops. We improve our components every single day. As the industry evolves and improves, so do our parts and kits. As of right now, we have over 100 products for UTVs. So when you bring your car to us, you have the satisfaction of knowing that you have the most experience, the highest quality products, and the fact that your car is being tuned specifically to you.
Zollinger Racing builds the best aftermarket products available. Products for your UTV or snowmobile, including billet radius rods, billet tie rods, billet steering knuckles, billet steering racks, alternator kits, and much more. All manufactured in the United States in-house at their headquarters in Nibley, Utah. Travis Zollinger and his team test in some of the most brutal conditions, racing in places like the Best in the Desert Mint 400, Ultra 4 King of the Hammers, UTV World Championships, and many more. Visit ZollingerRacingProducts.com and use the code DIRTLIFE to get 10% off your next purchase and join us on social media at Zollinger Racing Products to see our products in action. Zollinger Racing, the best products, period. Finally, we got Lance from Solderweld in the studio. Thanks for coming down, bud. Hey, why don't we just record a commercial now?
Yeah, why not? So good to be here, man. It's been a lot. I've trying to get down here forever, and I wanted to talk about the off-road kit.
Dude, I love those things. I got it in my pack.
Yeah, we're running hundreds of vehicles now running them, whether it's a UTV or some guy's got it in a backpack on his motocross. He's got everything he needs to make a fix right there on the fly, out on the trail, or in the desert, whatever it is.
Well, since I've already used one, I kind of know what to use it for, but explain what it does.
All right, so let's pull one out real quick. You've got your aluminum rods. Remember, they're rods, right? So, light torch, small torch. You can throw it in there or throw it on the rig with your flux. It decontaminates and cleans like, let's say, a radiator. You get a random rock chip runs through as you're racing. You get a rock chip in a radiator. You got to fix it right there or you're out of the race.
You can patch it up.
You can patch it up. It's all good to go.
Yep, just like welding.
Yeah, also as well with that, you've got a brake line fix. So with your flux, you can fix a brake line, stainless steel, and then your hot block, heat absorption putty. So it keeps you from getting burned, number one, as well as keeps the heat from traveling. So it's really nice.
I've used this not even to fix anything, so that stuff works so good, man.
Listen, it's easy. It straps in nicely so that you have everything you need in one little place, and you don't have to carry a big bag in
It's like a first aid kit for your vehicle.
Yeah, chase trucks have it as well, so that if they need to make a fix on the fly, they can get it done and get it done quick and get you back in the race.
Dude, those things are so cool. All right, so it's at Solderweld on Instagram, Facebook, and solderweld.com.
Awesome.
All right, thanks, bud.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. We are back, episode 86 with Davi Millsaps, and unfortunately he's not here yet. He's still taking a little bit of a break, but man, it's been pretty cool to relive some of these stories that they were talking about. Hey, before he gets back, you got any funny stories that you want to talk about? Put the mic a little closer to your mouth, too.
We could go on for days.
It's pretty rad how good of a relationship that you guys have. It's like, I don't know, father-son kind of thing. We're already live, Davey, just letting you know. Oh, you're live? Yeah, we live, son.
He doesn't care.
So, it's all right, though. All right, well, we are since we're back, since Davey's back, we're going to get into a little bit more of Davey's story.
I had no hair.
You like your shaved head?
You have no hair? Your head bald as...
Hey, you guys got the same haircut, though.
Well, I do it because...
He has hair.
Oh, here we go.
I have hair. This one, on the other hand, does it because he doesn't have hair. He might as well bick it at this point.
Wouldn't Bic, really fuck up your head, though? I feel like bicking it's so gnarly.
I just shave it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Just shave it. All right, so back to the show. We are going to get a little bit deeper into Davi's story. Like most of you guys, we talk about side-by-sides, talk about off-road racing. We do a lot of dirt life stuff. And some of you guys may not know Davi as well as Steve does. But we're going to get into his story a little bit deeper and kind of dive into some of the stuff that we all can relate to, like we talked about at the beginning of the show, like family, coming full circle with the kids, doing all that stuff. But the first question that we're going to start with is, how the hell did you even get into dirt bike racing? Or was it a three-wheeler first?
No.
PW50?
My dad raced. So my dad raced, obviously, before I was born. And then, like I said, when we were driving in a car, we saw a dirt bike, I guess, in the back of a truck and said we wanted it. Got me one. And, just rode in the front yard. I think we had like 20-something acres or somewhere in that range.
In Georgia, you said?
No, Orlando.
Or
St. Cloud.
Okay.
And then rode her in the front yard, and then we went to Bifflo. And then from Bifflo, that's where I rode for a while. And then I think I started winning when I was like 5. So I got my bike when I was 3. Mm-hmm. Started winning when I was 5. And then, from there it was Reddick and Dade City and Gainesville. And
all mini bike stuff?
Yeah, all amateur stuff. So that's kind of how dirt bike race. I still remember watching my dad ride his dirt bike behind the airport in Orlando when I was really less. I remember watching him ride back there. So it's kind of really how that all went.
Yeah, it's like the same thing that's kind of happening with your kids nowadays, right? And that's the same thing with me too. My dad didn't ride dirt bikes, but we were living out in the dirt. In fact, that's why we started this show, is because we grew up in the dirt, no paved roads, nothing like that. So we kind of had the same opportunity as what you did. Steve, when we talked about it on your show quite a while ago, over a year ago, I think, you said that you didn't really grow up the same way.
Nope.
So it was a little different. When did you end up meeting Davey? How old was he?
12, 13.
Oh, so he already was fast by then.
Way fast. Yeah.
Faster than most 12 or 13-year-olds. But
yeah.
Okay, so that's cool. So it kind of lays down the framework, right? And then so you guys were pretty engulfed in the whole motocross world, though, right? Your whole family?
Yeah.
Like, maybe you can expand on it a little bit, like, because you guys had I don't know what you want to call it, a training facility or a school and stuff like that, or was that later?
That was way later.
Okay.
It was more so when I lived in St. Cloud, I became best friends with Brian Johnson, and he lived in Miami. We convinced him to move up to St. Cloud to be my neighbor, and from there we rode almost every other day together, and then raced on the weekends together. He's 2 years older than me, so he's always in different classes, but we always raced against each other, or raced with each other and practiced. And then my family, my mom, dad, bought property in Cairo, and during that time, Jeff Williams had a track. We all went up to and rode in Cairo. So it kind of went from that. And then my place in Georgia became a place where everyone came to.
Gotcha.
And that's how kind of
if you build it, they will come.
Yeah, pretty much. Mm-hmm. That's how MTF kind of was a thought process, was because my mom was learning everything from the schools that I had went to. And then everyone came over to my house in Georgia and riding with me. She would use me as an example, or if someone was better than me at something, she'd use them as an example. And then MTF sparked in one of our...
Yeah, it kind of just grew into itself.
Well, yeah, then they bought land and created MTF, and that's kind of where it went. My mom and dad, split when I was young, and I was 12 when they split. And, my dad lives in Orlando. He's actually, I think he's listening to the show tonight. He told me he was going to listen. And then, my mom stayed in Cairo and has MTF with Brian still.
Nice. That's pretty cool that all that happened. Then, I'm sorry, obviously, but that your parents split. But that's cool that all of that stuff was able to come to fruition, because it doesn't just happen. You don't just build a track and then all of a sudden, like, it's hard work. It's like a lot of long hours. Yeah. You were obviously a catalyst to it. People want to come ride with you. When you guys first came over there, was it at MTF? You guys said, right?
No, my place.
Oh, at his house.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was MTF when you guys were just talking about it.
Technically?
Yeah, I mean, you might as well call it.
So.
Oh, because it wasn't built yet. I got you.
Yeah, so my place that we had was 100 acres in Cairo.
Got it.
And then for a long time, and we had it from, well, I guess not really, 98 to 99, I think, is when they bought the land. And then 2004, MTF came about.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So only a few years before it was an idea that, was created.
It's pretty neat, though, like that you guys were able to put all that stuff together. Casey Peck just commented and said, "We heart scuba." Have you ever raced RC cars, Davey?
I never raced them.
Or like played with them?
One time at a track with Scuba when in 2013 we were sponsored by Horizon.
Yeah.
And it was Horizon, right?
Yeah.
And he took me to a track and to ride to do it, but
yeah,
we did it as a team one day, I think.
Yeah.
And
I suck at it.
That track's no longer existing.
Yeah, I was horrible at it too. But that's one of the reasons that we were connected with Steve is because Casey Peck, my old co-host, he raced RC cars professionally, and he was with Horizon actually at the time.
Gotcha.
So
yeah,
it's pretty crazy. That's why I thought maybe you got to go out there, because dude, he was like wrench master on those things. I don't know, man.
He
jack of all trades.
He's a
master
jack of all
zero.
I like wrench master of RC cars.
Yeah, wrench master of RC cars and captain and Cokes.
Yep, got those down too.
I think the captain's the master of him.
Masters of him. All right, so you started going through all the ranks and stuff, and I don't want to tell this story because I don't want you to feel like it's boring or anything, but for a lot of our audience, it's interesting, right? Because at what point were you riding mini bikes, and were you wow, I really feel like I could do this, or were you just doing it because you felt like doing it every day? Where's the connection to being a professional?
Man, I never had. I don't think I've really had to think about that type of deals. Like when I know when it was just more so as it went, but I was winning pretty much everything as an amateur.
Right.
So for me, it was just.
And did you like look up to like people like McGrath and stuff and be like, wow, I want to be like that?
Well, yeah. I mean, MC, TP, and Carmichael for me. I knew Carmichael, obviously since I was a little kid.
Right.
And obviously I grew up, watching Travis, and who's not a fan of McGrath.
Right.
I had different things of each person that I liked. I loved, all three of them, but there was different features or characteristics of all of them. But for me, I think it was, I became, American Suzuki when I was 8. And then from that point, I just started winning more. And I don't know, when I was probably 9 or 10, it was more so like, we got to take this a little bit more seriously. And that's when we moved to Georgia. And it became more of a everyday thing versus just a weekend thing.
Gotcha.
And
that's pretty heavy though. Like when you're 10 years old to have that, like, and that's the reason I was asking that question is because I wanted to know when it started. Because I didn't even start riding. I didn't get a dirt bike until I was 12.
Yeah.
So for me, I was way past that point. Like when I got a dirt bike, I was already into dirt bikes. Like I wanted to be like, McGrath and all those guys. And then, so I was like, okay, if I'm 12, I'm already 12 years behind everybody else, or 10 years, whatever it is. I better fast track this motherfucker to get fast. So that's still the reason I've broken so many bones. Not that you haven't, but is because I went way too fast for my capabilities. You know what I mean? That's how almost everyone is. It's always going to be like that. But for me, it was just every weekend, every time I was at a race, it was, everyone knew that I was going to win or, be close to winning or whatever it was, or battling for the win. But, at Loretta, I had a few titles at Loretta, and then, and I think what was my last year, 2 years before I went pro, I signed a contract with Suzuki. So my last year amateur, then 2 years pro. Right.
So, and they moved me up pretty much way too fast.
Yeah.
I should have stayed down in amateurs at least another year, because I was only on a big bike for a year and a half before I went pro.
Yeah, I remember something like that.
Not very long on a big bike before I went to Supercross. And
were you in his career path at the time, Steve, or not yet?
You were back at NCF.
I was down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So were you watching him go through and being like, seeing any of these things, or like, hey,
I remember his first. He couldn't race his first race.
It's too young.
It's too young because he had to be 16.
That's already a red flag right there, then, isn't it?
Well, for me, it was not just a red flag, but I got hurt in Supercross and broke my elbow, dislocated my elbow, and I missed almost 3 months of riding going into the season. So I had no time. Not only that, but I was 185 pounds on a 125 two-stroke, which is a red flag.
Yeah.
And then, and going against all the 250Fs, and then James, who was a $130 soaking wet.
Yeah.
On a two-stroke.
Yep.
So it was
way more horsepower.
A lot of red flags in my first year, but it's.
It is what it is.
I pushed through it, and you start looking back now, and it's like, I wish I would have waited another year.
That's the whole shoulda, coulda, woulda thing.
But that's where I'm at now. It's like all this stuff that I have from the beginning all the way to the end. It's like I can give back to that.
Dude, yeah, 100%. Casey just commented in again and said, "There's no 20-minute breaks in RC."
There isn't.
So that's why you like it so much, then?
Me?
Yeah, you just work through it.
Just work through it.
You don't have to wait for Davey.
Nope.
All right, so you're going through, and then you go to Loretta's, and you do all these different things. You win amateur championships and stuff. And then, is there any point when because you kind of said it, you kind of leaned into it and said, you were just on that path. You were following the path, right? Like, was there any points where you were like, fuck this, I'm out, I don't want to do this, or this is 100% what I want to do?
No, I mean, growing up, like when I was little, I loved basketball. I loved basketball. But it was always, if I had to choose, it was always dirt bikes. No matter what it was dirt bikes. I want to ride. And there was never a point really where it was like, no, I'm out. It was always like, what do I need to do, to keep going
and get better?
But yeah, I think, shoot, dude, I raced a lot of people as an amateur, but, it was more so just the fact that it was what I loved doing. I was good at it. And it came naturally for me to do it. Everything else I had to work way harder at, like basketball. To make a 3-pointer was almost impossible for me. So,
oh, really? Yeah. So it was like, okay, motocross is way easier.
Yeah, pretty much.
Did you have a chance, like when you were that young, did you have a chance to get on any Supercross tracks where you're like, oh, Supercross better than motocross? I like this a lot more.
I mean, I went to the Orange Bowl in Orlando and watched Supercross there, and then I got to race on a PW there one time. But no, back then I didn't really care. I just liked to ride.
Yeah.
So
I know there's a lot of people nowadays, like, well, Steve probably hears it all the time, but like, oh, I only want to ride Supercross. Supercross is so much better than motocross. Like, back in the day, like, when I rode at least, like, you didn't care. You just were...
I mean, as you get to go pro, like, yeah, you understand that, which one you like better. But I think it's only because you have so much more time to get ready for Supercross that you get so much better at it, to where motocross you have a short period of time between Supercross and motocross. And then, it gets hot and it's more racing. And unfortunately, you get paid half racing outdoors. So I guess there's a lot of things that go into it. So you're doing way more work for half the pay to win.
Is that true? Half for outdoors?
Well, most of the time you lose a lot racing outdoors for podiums than you do in Supercross.
It's just because there's not as much money in the series? So they can't get it out. Man, that sucks.
Sponsors and everything, they get more money in Supercross.
And I feel like outdoors is so gnarly too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you're going to do 24 motos, which is more than Supercross motos.
Right.
And you're doing way longer motos.
There's way more chance to get hurt.
For half the pay.
And fucking hauling ass too.
I mean, I get that you love riding dirt bike and it's all about fun and games, and this and that, but yet it's still a job.
Right.
So I get why people lean towards Supercross more, because obviously you're doing this for a living.
Right.
You guys get up and do your 8 to 5 for a living.
Right.
This is our 8 to 5.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna lean towards what we can make more money in.
Yep.
That's,
and not to mention there's so many opportunities to have something potentially happen as well. So going through all that, it's I don't want to say it's standard, but it's like you have this path that you're going down and you want to like become a professional. Is there a time like when you're at Loretta's or when you're riding, you're like, wow, I could really, really like, I'm watching a Supercross race and I could probably beat that dude. Like I have a feeling that I could win that Supercross championship. Like when are you like putting yourself on that pedestal? Because it's got to be a pretty young age for you because you were so far ahead of the curve.
Honestly, like growing up, I didn't watch that much Supercross. I watched a lot of outdoors.
Really?
I really didn't have TV in Georgia.
But you were so good at Supercross. So just because you're practicing it, though?
I don't know.
That's crazy, man. You would think that
even on the outdoor track, we had a set of whoops. So that's why I think, the first time I hit a set of whoops, I was on an 80. And I couldn't do them to save my life. Couldn't do them. And every day there was no choice. I had to get through them somehow. So that's and that's where it came from.
Yeah.
So that just translated into my timing on a dirt bike was
always good. Yeah.
Always good.
Yeah.
So the timing was there for me. The technical side of things, I had a lot of bike skills. So the technical thing was fine for me. So
was there any time you ever got on a Supercross track? Like, because now, well, Steve can attest to this, but now everybody goes out and they do every single jump first lap and all the rhythms. Like maybe throughout the night, the rhythms will change a little bit because the conditions change. But was there ever a track where you got on and you were like, wow, I don't know what to do here. Like I'm going to have to figure it out as I go. Or was it pretty like monotonous like what it is nowadays?
I mean, back in the day when I first started, it was more so what can we do?
Yeah.
Because the jumps were big. You're on 250F, or it was obviously way more steep. Everything was crazy.
That's because like now it's like not what can we do? It's like what should we do?
Yeah. So now back then it was like what can we do? Like are we going to make this? To where now it's like how far can we go?
Yeah, exactly.
And so yeah, I guess back in the day it was something like that, but to the point to where once we went through it, then you would go out and you'd watch the 450s or 250s. I guess it'd be 250s back in the day. Do it, then you're like, okay, like now we know what to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Just because if they could do it, like we had a chance of doing it.
Man, it kind of, like, Steve, does it make you want to go back to those days? Because I kind of feel like those were so much more exciting.
Yeah.
The tracks were, that's for sure.
Well, even like the bikes, because it was more to figure out what you could do.
Yep.
Instead of what you should do, like what it is nowadays, man. It would be interesting to see, like, actually, I don't even know how you would rewind it now to get to that point.
Just got to make the tracks way more technical.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the jumps now, everything is way more flat.
Yep.
And there's nothing that is nothing super steep to where you have to slow down to hit it. Nothing right out of a corner to where it's super big, to where you go up and you have to get timing perfect. Everything's just so fast.
Yeah.
So you have to almost rewind the clocks to where you start building the jumps back up. Yes, granted, there could get, people can come up short, they can crash, but yet they're
going slower, though.
Going way slower.
Yeah.
So I guess it's,
I don't know. It's either
6
here.
to 1, half dozen in the other.
Yeah, exactly. So. What was the favorite bike that you ever rode throughout the years? I mean, dude, it could even be like an 80. Like, I remember like having a Suzuki 80. I was like, holy shit, this thing's way better than all my other 80s that I had. Like, so much bottom end. That was like my favorite.
Which one did you have?
It was like a 90. It was probably like right when you were born. It was like 90.
I was born in 88.
96, I think.
Okay, so yeah, because the 2085 is the one I designed.
Oh, really?
But I think my favorite bike of all time was my 2006 Honda 250F.
Really?
Hands down, probably my favorite bike of all time. No offense, Scuba, I love my 13 bike, but
you've always said that.
Yeah, that 2006 250F was unbeatable.
What was so good about it?
It did anything and everything I wanted it to do.
You could just turn it, like do whatever, hook it?
Anything.
Really?
Yeah, it was. Granted, I had, Kehoe was my team manager. He was an amazing team manager. And then Shane Drewski was my suspension guy along with...
John Sand 91 or 92 for those bikes. So, yeah, it was a little bit before when you designed that one.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the bike was just insane. The balance of the bike, the way it turned, the way it hit the whoops, it was my bike, So...
Casey says there's no TV in Georgia. People in Georgia don't have any TV.
I didn't have TV. My mom didn't allow it.
Yeah. I don't even watch TV now.
We had movies.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't have TV, so I didn't really.
You're not a current events guy?
Yeah, when I moved to Georgia in 2000, I didn't. From that point on, I didn't really have TV.
Yeah.
It's crazy,
dude. I still feel like and this is a personal thing, but I feel like everybody would be better off without TV. Like
my son would.
Yeah. Like I haven't had TV since 2008, so. I totally get your point.
And honestly, in Cairo, Casey, I truly don't know if there was nothing where I lived. I don't know that. I mean,
you didn't have it.
We didn't have it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it wasn't around back then because we were so far out in the boonies. Who knows?
Cell servers sucked.
It was Nextel.
Yeah. But
did you guys have those walkie-talkies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hitting each other up.
Yeah.
Did they work like if you were in the town over or anything, or you had to be like real close?
No, you go state to state.
Yeah.
Oh, so you could just be like wherever you want?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's got to be annoying because especially the 50,000 text messages that Scuba's got
not
today.
back then.
He barely got one back then.
Could you imagine if you had the walkie-talkie in your pocket and work had to hit you up, dude?
Oh,
Holy shit. Beep, 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 beep.
I'd be the only one red button for sure. The only one.
That's the
Depends
best.
on the day.
No, that's every day. He doesn't answer nor call or anything.
You said you called him 5 times today?
Oh, just because when he red buttons me, I just keep calling.
You fucking called me twice. Liar.
No, I called you twice, 2 or 3 times today, but I for sure text you a whole lot.
Yeah, but I answered your text.
You did, yeah. See, I'll call him, red button, and he'll answer a text right back.
Because I'm usually in the middle of something, and I'm
usually taking a shit.
That too.
Can't ever get a chance to take a phone call.
No.
I'll get a message on the shitter.
Exactly.
Okay.
Or just send him the shitter emoji.
Yep.
So since we're on the topic of scuba, what's your favorite scuba moment? Do you have one from back in the day? Or maybe it was recent. I don't know. Maybe it's even more specific, a scuba captain moment.
I don't know.
That's all the time.
You probably gone fishing with him a bunch, no?
No,
Once.
fuck no, he hates it.
Really?
One
Dude,
time. One time.
And
I told you, Steve, like my patience level would never be successful at. Dude, I'm ADD as fuck. I can't go sit in the boat, or even on the shore.
So he came to my house. I had a house before the one I have now in Havasu, and he came there, backed the boat up. What are those stupid things you have in the back?
Power poles.
Yeah, power poles. Put one through the ceiling of my garage.
Oh shit!
Fantastic. We got up in the morning, went down, we got donuts, and then went out fishing, and we weren't catching anything. And I'm like, I'm over it. I'm just gonna chill. And we had a drink. And next thing you know, what is it? The Havasu
Park Rangers.
Yeah, park rangers pull up, and I wasn't fishing at the time because I didn't have a license.
Yeah,
I would have got busted hard.
Oh really?
He got a ticket. So
yeah.
I'm like, I'm lucky that I.
How much that ticket?
Well, for me, it would have been like what, 300?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't have my license on me.
Oh really?
So I got lucky that I put my pole down already. I was just sitting there. I was having a drink and watching him try to fish, and because it was windy that day or something was going on, it was bad.
It was bad. It was blowing.
But I don't know.
So what did you just call it? Retired after that trip? You're just like out?
Yeah. So Brian Johnson, like I said, he basically like my stepbrother. He loves fishing, hunting. And we used to get up in the morning in St. Cloud and go. He had a pond behind his house. So we'd go fishing there, and I suck at it. I think the first time I'm like, dude, what's this thing? It's hitting the hook. Like, what do I do with it? You know, like I was little though, and from that point, the first time I ever fished was with him, and I was probably 9 when I first started fishing with him. I just don't like it.
You're just bored of it?
Yeah,
I just can't sit there for that long. Like I don't know how to do it. I can definitely give like appreciation to good fishermen. For whatever reason though, I have good luck, Steve. So if I throw something out there, usually something will come back. So
perfect.
But I can't sit there. So usually I'll go eat a sandwich. Somebody will be like, "Hey, shit's moving around," and go get it. Like
there's a big bass fisherman that lives near me in Havasu.
Yeah,
and I mean he's
gone all the time.
He has a big ass house, so he must do pretty good with bass.
Oh, he's like a pro?
Yeah, Dean Rojas.
Dean Rojas.
Oh, so he's a badass then. Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Well, so getting back to the question, what's your favorite
I was gonna say, I'm
funny
trying to
scuba?
think. Well,
there was a few in motocross that we
I
could
have
talk.
a lot in my head.
Hey, okay, let's break this into two parts then. Let's do like a public one that somebody may have seen already, like on television or Supercross, or maybe in an image or something that you've had with Steve at a race that's been like a good one, and then we'll go back and talk about something that's really fun.
I can't. Besides him trying to go to the gym with us in the morning in Tallahassee.
What's that all about? Steve's not a workout guy?
Basically, I was a goddamn babysitter for him, Brian, and Martine there for a while. Okay, and then
it just fell into your lap, or what?
Because he's the only one that could drive.
Yeah, the only one that had a license. So off I go, take the 3 knuckleheads all the way to Tallahassee to the gym.
But he wouldn't go. Okay, so there's a shortcut through a dirt road that saves you about, no lie, at least 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Dang!
And he wouldn't do it because he didn't want to get his car dirty.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that's.
But it was only maybe a mile in dirt road, and I'm like, dude, we live in Georgia.
Nope. Didn't care. We took the long way.
Yeah, it was the long way for sure. I mean, honestly, dude, there's.
Where would we go after that? The smoothie place.
Oh, tropical smoothie.
Yeah, there we go.
That was so good.
Mm-hmm.
Was that place really good? Dude, I feel like I haven't had a smoothie in so long.
Back in the day, it was the kiwi quencher or the strawberry cheesecake.
Does that mean you had to stick to the diet and the regimen that all these guys did?
Not really.
Only in the morning.
No, in the morning only. Yeah. No, it was Hooters at night.
Oh, get some nice wings, get that thing going.
Yeah. Yep.
But I mean, honestly, I think one of the best moments, and it's not to be, anything like, because I won, but the last lap in 2013 at Anaheim 1, the second to last lap when Kennard had, I was right behind Kennard, and he was basically trying to break his pit board, and then I passed Kennard that lap.
Dude, you were probably fired up sitting on the sidelines, though, right, Steve?
And then when I came over,
I had no voice.
That little tail, the little weird
step
down thing was weird. Into the mechanics area, like the way he was jumping up and down, And then, I mean, that was like that was surreal. And then obviously after the race, that was his first 450 win.
Yep.
And that was obviously for the team as well. And it was a brand new 450 team. So for me, and then obviously his hug afterwards, it was more so meaningful just because we were both on a privateer team.
Yeah.
And
the amount of work that you guys put in and spent before that.
Nobody has any idea how much went into that year.
And and don't get me wrong, I had known him,
good friends, yeah.
Well, I had known him for a long time, and since we were such good friends, I was nervous about working with him because I didn't want the animosity to ever get between that friendship. And he's an asshole. So
Right in, dickhead.
But no, it was afterwards just the you could see the light in his face and just
super amped on the whole thing.
Just so amped, and it's it's like the first time that I won and on a lights class, when Carlos and Thelma were there. It was more like you did it. It was kind of like the same thing, but for scuba it was our friendship and everything was just it was pretty cool. It's probably one of my favorite moments, hands down, besides the fact that he wouldn't let go of me. But it was definitely.
You're like,
cool.
bro, get back.
like we're trying to go into the podium, is he still trying to hug me up, so
that's pretty cool though.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing that. That's actually one of the subjects that I wanted to talk about. So we'll just talk about it now. I was just sitting on the couch watching that, and I saw all the emotions come through the television screen. You know what I mean? And I was like, holy crap, this is so badass. Because that stuff doesn't happen all the time. I mean, there's guys that win and there's mechanics that get happy, right? But there's not that connection that they have with the audience like you guys did that night.
Yeah.
And I think it was a lot of because that battle was fucking intense.
But even Travis called it before the main event.
What do you mean?
Pastrana called it.
So I
called what?
Winning.
Yeah, well, but how did he call it? He detailed it, or he just said Davies going to win?
Well, he did a post about it that Millsaps is going to win tonight.
Yeah.
So he was
before
the
it
one
even went down.
Really?
They called me.
Mm-hmm.
Called me
Dang,
out.
dude, the vibes.
And then I think besides that, definitely the San Diego one as well was a good one. But I mean, just the fact of how into he gets. Carlos, for example, was a mechanic for 14 years. He was amateurs all the way through. And, so, I had that emotion because he's like my second dad. He legit is like my second dad. So the emotions with him when I would win, hands down, that was a connection between him and I, but that was like a father-son thing.
Right.
But with him, it was, it was like one of those best friend things to where it's you're so amped for each one of your best friends, and that you did it together.
Yep.
That to me was hands down the best moment I've ever had with him.
With him, yep.
So
what about something that was funny? You remember a moment you guys were at the races, or maybe it's actually at the it could have even been in that MTF.
The opening ceremonies video that we did in Minneapolis was actually really good, and they shut it down.
Yep.
What happened?
We did the Dukes of Hazzard, good old boys thing.
You guys did a video
for opening ceremonies where they did it, but it was him and I together with his bike and like
Bo and Luke Duke kind of thing.
Yeah.
Wait, what? I never saw that.
Well, they shut it down.
They shut it down.
And there was no way of getting that and throwing it up on YouTube or anything.
No.
I don't. The guy that did it's name was Luke Pomet.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't. I don't think he's around anymore.
No, but
fuck, that'd be awesome to get that out of the
archive.
archive.
It's funnier than hell.
What was it all about?
Basically, I mean, it had the Dukes of Hazzard theme playing.
Yep.
And did you guys have a car?
No, we just used a dirt bike.
My bike.
Really?
Yeah, and he slid across the front fender and then hopped in and made it look like he was riding off.
Dude, it sounds badass.
That was cool.
That would be super fun. I mean, you guys got to reenact it nowadays with the Razor.
Oh shit!
Oh, you should get some captain and slide across the front right there.
Yeah,
I could fucking do that anytime.
Well, hey, we'll get some orange spray paint, dude. We'll paint the Razor.
But I mean, as far as funny moments, I mean,
Brittany would be not thrilled.
I don't like the color orange anyway, so she's safe.
I don't know, man. Like, my memory's not that good back in the day about you almost had to be there.
Yeah.
I mean, he put his finger through my foot peg a few times. That was kind of funny, not gonna lie. But
I used to have to put tennis balls on the foot pegs. They were that sharp.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
But yeah, I'm not. God, what? I don't know. You have to know some funny ones.
Yeah, oh, John said scuba seems like my kind of dude, so he must like fishing too.
Or maybe. Shit.
Getting put on the spot with funny stories. I don't know.
Have you ever thought about racing 4 wheels ever? Like,
I know one of the dudes at Polaris, and I hit him up. I know someone at Can-Am, and I hit him up, and I'm just like, dude, if you guys ever need one, just let me know. You know, I was sitting on the couch. I was like,
how do you drive it? Are you a good driver?
I don't know.
Oh, you just try it out.
I would just try it.
Yeah,
but for me, then I got the call from Carson, and I'm like, I'm good over here. I'm enjoying that. So,
what if you just did something like VIP, like somebody asked you, hey, come down to this race and come drive with us for a little bit, and would you do it or no?
What I'd actually drive? I'd drive, yeah. Passenger seat, I don't think so.
You're not a good passenger? Yeah. A lot of people actually get sick in the passenger seat.
I would get sick.
Yeah. So. Just because you're shaking around and you're not, like, you got to read all these
you
fucking
didn't
GPS.
Get sick when we went up to the thing that night?
A lot of people.
I stayed focused.
A lot of people get sick when they're in the passenger seat, though.
Yeah. I get car sick real easily. When I hit my head, I lost my car sickness. I was so happy.
You're like, yes.
I'm like, yes. And then it came back. I'm like, damn it.
Fuck.
Son of a gun.
That does suck. That would be kind of cool to see you get in something with 4 wheels, though. I might know a guy that might.
I'm going to get in my truck when I leave.
You think he could do good in 4 wheels? Like on a Razor or something? Like if he was going to go race in the desert? How do you see? Like, is your vision pretty good?
Since I hit my head terrible.
Oh, really?
I used to have 20/20. Now I can't see what any of that is.
What are glasses in the car?
Yeah, but what about like?
Help.
Really?
I've tried every glass and I still can't see. They're like, oh, the doctors, all the the neurologists, like, you have, for my injury, I have to get LASIK.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to get LASIK.
Yeah. Just leave it the way it is.
Yeah.
Do you still ride dirt bikes at all? Like, you still go out and cruise or no? No.
Got one at the house. Who's got to work on it?
I just got one.
You did?
I just got a gas, and
just the 450, the stock.
Yep. And I put wheels on it. I put a pipe on it. I put clamps on it. Bar mounts, the handlebars.
Got it all down for you.
Levers, pegs.
You know a guy who works on it?
Sprocket. No, I did this all myself.
Oh, nice.
So I'm going to ride on Saturday with my son at Kahia, and I'm like, I'm coming here. Scuba, can you please just go through it and make sure I'm okay? I know the cotter pins and the foot pegs I didn't do because I was over the foot pegs, so I just left them. So I know I have to do the cotter pins, so you can remember that I have to do cotter pins. But I couldn't get the front sprocket off because I don't have an impact wrench, and that thing was freaking tight.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but no, I brought it here for him to go through to make sure I'm okay and help me put graphics on it.
Oh, wow. Casey just commented in and said that Davey and Steve sent me a care package when I was recovering from my brain surgery. It made a huge impact on my attitude after healing up. That's pretty awesome that you guys did that. That's pretty special, man. Have you done stuff like that for, I don't know, friends, family, all that stuff?
I mean,
giving back?
I mean, I give out, honestly, like when I hit my head and I retired, I had a lot of people hit me up about jerseys, and I know I probably told them, yeah, I'll send them. But then, like, with my brain injury, what was going on, I lost a lot of my memory, and all my stuff, I can't find it.
Yeah.
So I don't know who I was supposed to send stuff to and whatnot, but I know I was supposed to send a lot out.
Well, you made a good impact on Casey. He said, I still display them proudly in my garage. They were from the awesome 13 season. Scuba and Davey are both good dudes. I never got to say thanks, so clearly he's saying thanks now. Boots off for 20 minutes on the gas too, you think?
Oh, longer than that, dude.
You're going boots off for like an hour?
When the boots come off, the bike's put away.
So that's one ride.
Dude,
that's for sure.
I went to Kahia a week and a half or 2 weeks ago. It was pretty nice, dude. Have you been out there lately or no?
No.
Dude.
I haven't been to
No, I was thinking with Carson
Since
or something.
14.
Fuck, are you serious?
Yeah.
I bet.
What? Dude, it's pretty good. Now, it's not as nice as it was.
No. I went in 16. I went in 16 when I with KTM.
Oh.
So 16 was the last time I was there.
They shortened the track up a little bit. Well, you can ride. There's another track that you can ride on the back.
I'm not worried about how long.
Just going.
I'm just going to go ride with Dane. I haven't been on a bike in a year and a half.
Nice.
So I'm not in any kind
Does that mean that you're going to the track this weekend, Steve?
Yeah, bicycles.
bicycles.
Gold Cup and state qualifier.
But that's cool, though, man. I'm stoked that you got a bike and you're getting back into it. I've been talking to Steve about getting a bike as well, and I'm going to be a big off-road guy now. So he's talking about the 350. What's the model?
EX.
Not the sport one, but just
the big gas tank.
I'll probably have to put a bigger gas tank on it because I'll be like I can last forever, so I could just go like miles and miles and miles, and so I'll probably want to get as much fuel economy as I can out of that thing. I know,
It's rough,
dude. I know. Trust me. Like my life has turned into being like track guy, motocross guy, to now being like explorer guy. So it's just the way it's been for me. But I still don't have the patience level to sit in the boat and do that stuff. So riding is fine.
I'll sit in the boat.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you are thinking about racing 4 wheels, definitely let us know. I think it would be pretty cool to see you get behind the driver's seat of one of the cars, even if you just made a VIP and just did like a segment at
I mean, honestly, if someone was like, hey, we don't care how you do, we don't care if you wreck it, just come race.
Those are the opportunities that I get now, so that's why I'm saying like
I would. If it was on a weekend where I didn't have anything conflicting, yeah, I'd go.
Yeah. It'd be cool to see you do it. Like not because you're gonna get hooked, not because it's gonna change, but it would just be neat to see you get out there and do it because it's always appealing to me and to everybody else in our audience to be able to like, wow, this dude used to haul the mail on a dirt bike, and now look, he just jumps in for the first time and he's still hauling the mail. Like, because it always works out like that.
My father-in-law and brother-in-law they just always say like, you need to race 4 wheels, and
the vision is really crucial though, because you got to see way further away.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, when it comes to big things, I can see it. It's just but
you got to be able to
the
see
writing that's happening right now.
You got to be able to see that.
Yeah, I can't see any of that. I can make my name out at the top
just because you know who it is.
Yeah, but I can't see anything else.
But so, like, the vision is crucial in 4 wheels because you're almost looking twice as far ahead as you would on a dirt bike. So, no matter what, I think you'd have a good time. That's the whole point.
Sure.
This was the question that we talked about before. Who's your Mount Rushmore of motocross? Like, who's your all-time 4 favorite dudes?
4.
Dude, they could have even been somebody like right now or somebody that you were competing against.
No.
You're going like old school?
Yogi.
Dude, that's a good one.
McGrath.
Yep.
TP.
That's a good one.
Carmichael.
Carmichael's kind of default. McGrath are kind of default, though, right?
Well, I grew up with Carmichael.
Right.
I rode with him when I was on 60s and 80s.
All right, let's take them out of it then. You can't pick Carmichael and you can't pick McGrath. You got to pick Rushmore with the other two, with 2 other replacements. Who are you going with, Steve?
With not picking McGrath and Carmichael?
Yeah, you got it because they're already like default. So you got to pick some other dudes.
I would say K-Dub.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Oh, I'll take K-Dub. I'll take K-Dub.
Yogi.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yogi's such a good pick, dude. Dude, I just remember when I was growing up watching him ride, it was like so fluid.
Shit. I mean,
honestly,
you're kind of it.
I'm gonna have to go James.
Just because he was so fast?
Well, I grew up with him as well. He's from Haines City. I'm from St. Cloud. We're only 30 minutes apart. I grew up riding PWs with him.
Yep.
It's James.
Yeah.
I love Big James. I love his dad. And he was really good friends with my dad, and we were just all, we were all good friends, and he was my teammate at one point. So for me, he's one of the greatest to throw a leg over a dirt bike of all time. Of course.
Those are good picks. And Steve left one out because he's only got 3 on his. He's picking you as the last one, I heard.
I mean, he could be. I mean, one of the most talented guys on a motorcycle.
Well, so that's where I was leaning at. The reason I asked that question is because there's a lot of people in our audience and a lot of kids that would actually pick you. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many moments, and I know everybody talks about that race with Kennard and goes on and on about that, but that race was so inspirational and so motivational to so many people because it was so good. It was one of, if not the best races of the last decade.
That one in Salt Lake City the same year was probably the 2 best races that I've ever raced.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And the one in Anaheim, I think, stands out more.
Yeah.
San Diego.
It was San Diego?
No. San Diego was another good one.
Led the whole thing.
That was the first time that I ever got the whole shot and led every lap without getting passed or having to pass. Like I led all 20 laps. That was the first time I ever did that.
When you got done with that race, how do you feel? Like, were you just like, wow?
I'm like, I just led every lap.
Yeah.
That was pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, we just like deep breath. Like,
and I won. No, I didn't win the heat race that time. Or did I win the heat race? No, I didn't win the heat race.
Second to James.
To James. So,
dude,
James was on it that day.
yeah.
and you still got him.
He got a bad start, and I think something happened, and Barsha was behind him the whole time.
I think he crashed coming out of the whoops.
He did. Yep.
So
him and Reed together.
No, he crashed in the turn going into the whoops.
Yeah, it was something. But
Dude, you still got a pretty good memory, man.
I remember that year.
I can remember damn near everything about it. Everybody that I've usually worked for, like obviously that was the last year I really worked for somebody.
Right.
So I can remember it like
it was yesterday. Dude, that's so cool. It's pretty crazy because, and you got to wait, like, go to sleep at night thinking, man, like I did, like, well, actually, let's play the opposite thing. Is there anything that you were upset about that year?
Huh.
Like, were you like, fuck, I meant, like, what? Pick Steve.
Pick him. Hey.
he knows. He knows exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to talk about it? Dude.
But all the rules?
Which ones?
The ones that didn't exist?
Yeah, no shit. Actually, I could go with two then.
Yeah, but
St. Louis
was
one that sucked.
What happened?
They
just, the rules are just
the rules are
different.
Black and white. They're gray. They're not even black and white. They were gray that night, and he got hit by Kennard.
And Dungey.
Yeah, it wasn't like intentionally. They just somebody was down on the triple, and I think it was Villo for some reason. Or maybe he was in the back. I can't remember.
It was Canary.
Oh, it was.
It was Bobby.
So Bob went down, and then they rolled the triple, but then Villo and everybody else doubled it, and then they hit him, and then his arm was, dude, holy fuck.
Kennard hit me so hard. My whole body went almost all the way down to my front wheel, and I don't know how I saved it, but it was basically
folded you over the bars.
Yeah, but I still saved it. So that was a good one. I mean, that was a good or a good save, but they hit me hard. And then Dungey passed me on the red cross flag and then took me out.
I do remember that.
But yeah, that was.
And then Villo was allowed to jump twice. Jumped twice on the red cross flag, and then he ended up.
And they didn't penalize him.
No.
He was sixth that night, and Villo won. So if you do the points, it was.
But at the end of the day, it was racing. We had a great year. It was fantastic. But for me, it was more so. If I look back at that year, the things I wish I would have done differently, it was more so. As I started to get through the season, I hurt my knee, and I just wish I would have. I think toughed it out a little bit more. You
can only do so much, though, right?
Yeah, but there's the thing. Like, did I do all of it? And
that's that whole thing we just talked to. Hindsight's 20/20, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
so for me, it was I packed up from Georgia when I hurt my knee, and I went back to California, and my season started to come back around, but it's just one of those things you just don't know. But yeah, there's a lot of things that went gray that year, but all in all, man, it was by far a fantastic year, and
I'm still telling you, like the highlight of that year, the decade, I think, like in my memory at least, and I know a lot of people that are watching, is that race, like with Kennard. I mean, like you really like there's almost no comparison to that with other racers and other races. Like, it was so cool.
And Trey's an awesome dude. So that racing that with him and. It was pretty badass.
Exactly. Casey said that Rick Johnson, K-Dub, Stewie, and Doug Henry. That's a pretty good Mount Rushmore, too. And then Coleman said he had Yogi's jersey and Millsaps Honda jerseys. I wonder what year that was.
Well, for me on Honda, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So I wonder when you got that jersey, Coleman. That would be cool. LaRocco jersey and Dungey jersey, donations, both autographed. Damn, dude. People got some serious jerseys here. Man, I wonder how many jerseys you gave out compared to how many you wore. Dude, could you imagine, like, 20 times as much? Like, it's got to be. Yeah.
Easily.
That's crazy. Do you remember any like instances when you were in the signing autographs and stuff? Like, what was the craziest thing that you ever had to do?
Yeah. Trying to think. I don't think.
Yeah, I never had anything like crazy. It got
Like crazy fans?
Yeah.
yeah. There's always crazy fans.
I know. I love that though, dude.
Like-
Those stories are so cool.
Not that I know, like, through his years or whatever, he always, but like, dude, in 2013, the fucking line was insane. Even at the first round, it was pretty long, but then after that, I'm telling you, it was like I had to cut it off. Like, 'cause
Really?
nobody else had the balls to do it. I'm like, all right, that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's people that dress up as squirrels and stuff like that in Atlanta. And,
Nice.
Yeah, that was always fun. But yeah, I mean, when I first went pro, and then
You ever
up
had to
to
sign
the
anybody's
ranks-
baby?
yeah, I did. But I think holding the babies was the weirdest thing for me.
That's got to get scary.
And because I didn't, for one, I didn't know really what to do.
Plus, it's somebody else's baby.
And then like when I was somewhat teammates with K-Dub, he was just all about it because he had 8 kids or something, and I think he only had like 2 at the time, but he would just take him, hold him, whatever. And I'm like, then when I had Dane, then it became more so like, oh yeah, no big deal. But I think at that time it was just odd.
I don't want to break it.
Don't know what to do.
Yeah, Casey commented in and said, you had such a great career. 2013 was so inspiring for so many people, especially us lanky dudes. Hey, so
Thank you.
Fun fact that I learned today, Casey, is that Davey is not one of the ones with the longest legs. He's actually just a big guy.
Just have a long torso.
Yeah. Well, what was the thing that you said before the show? You
so
measured.
In 2009, I was teammates with Tedesco. Obviously, if Ivan ever hears it, he obviously knows he's short. But he always said, "Oh, you're only good in the whoops because your legs are so long." I'm like, dude, how long are your legs? Let's measure. And I'm like, there's no way. So we measured from ground to hip, and we were identical. And I'm like, no more excuses.
Yep.
So
just pin it, bro.
Yeah, just pin it. From that point on, he never really could say much because my inseam was his inseam.
Yeah.
So
that's funny that you say that though, because like it really does bring light to it. Because I do have long legs, and I was still never good in the whoops. So now it makes me feel like, dude, I was just being a pussy the whole time. Like I should have just went faster. And Casey's like, he's a freaking maniac in the whoops. He can do so well. Who do you have like one guy that you would pick as a toughest competitor over the years?
one? No.
Well, I don't know if you could pick one, but do you remember any guys that you would go up to starting line and be like, because you said that you had confidence when you went to starting line, but you would go up to starting line and be like, fuck, I got to race this dude again. And it could be even coming up through amateurs, like, because amateurs usually you got like one dude that you battle against the whole time, right?
Yeah, amateurs, I hated Alessi.
Yeah.
I mean, he knows that. So I don't think he liked me that much either. I mean, honestly, you got RV, Dungy, and James kind of all stand out.
Yeah.
But really, I mean, just
what about a guy that maybe wasn't like an all-time competitor? You were just like, you didn't want to get Vince freezed, like you like who's your guy that you were like, oh, I'm going to stay away from this motherfucker?
Vince Freeze.
It was Vince.
Vince. Oh, dude, Heath Voss.
Oh, dude, I rode against Heath Voss for a couple years too.
Lapping Heath he cost me a few podiums. I think he was probably one of the, he was the nicest guy, hands down. He's so nice, but he was a mission to pass.
Yeah. Dude, it was like he had eyes in the back of his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I remember being like behind him a couple times, and I was like, dude, this is going to take a year to freaking get by this guy. And then, so one of the other things that I wanted to ask was like, how did you get to be in the point of, after your retirement, of going to say like, I want to help other people? Because it's not easy for a rider to do that, right? Like, you have to be a certain type of person to want to help other people and to give them what you've learned over the years and to help train them and stuff. So when was it like you were sitting at the house, being your stay-at-home dad, like you explained before, where you're like, wow, I really have a passion to go back into it?
So for me, I've always been, if you go back to the amateur days where how MTF kind of got started, was I always liked to bring people in, and I always liked to help them no matter what it was. And through my pro ranks, it was more so, I helped Weston Pike and, quite a bit, just a little bit. And then, I helped a lot of, Martine and Johnson and,
so it's kind of something that you did your whole tenure.
I always kind of did and tried to do. But then, when I retired, I went with Martine over to Ecuador and we did a camp. And I'm like, I liked working with the amateur kids. I did, but I'm like, that's not my forte. My forte really isn't the amateur kids. I'm great at Supercross and the pro side of things, and I can really help someone in whoops. But I was sitting on the couch and I'm just like, I would like to help someone one day. I was always telling my wife, I'm like, it's kind of been a dream to find someone young and, like I was saying earlier, get them young and get them steer them away from the wrong direction.
Right.
And
wrong decisions.
Yes. And just let them know like what I've been through, ups and downs and all around the board and put your work in now. And so when you're done, you know that you gave everything you had through your entire career.
Right.
It's just sacrifice now so you can play later.
Yep.
And I was just sitting down and all of a sudden I got a phone call and just happened to be Carson. And
Carson Mumford.
So when I'm like, yeah, dude, like 100%.
Yeah, man.
I'm game. He's 19 and, I hadn't really ever seen him ride until
talent for days.
And until I came out and saw him ride. And his mechanic, we talked a little bit before I came out there and I talked to his parents and his cousin and I watched him ride and I'm like, yeah, like he has a lot of talent.
Yeah.
And he has a lot of talent that he doesn't even know he has.
Yep.
He hasn't used or even seen the talent that, we can see from the outside looking in. Cause I don't think the confidence is just there yet, but as soon as it gets there, then I think you're going to see a different Mumford. But, it was, when I went out for the first day, I was like, I just wanted to check it out. I haven't really ever done it before for a Supercross kid. So, I did it. I'm like, every day that went by, I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of enjoying this. I'm liking it. And now it's like, yeah, now I know why Yogi got into it with me. Now I know why Brock did it. Now I know why all the guys are starting to do it. Cause it's, once you start to get into it, it's like you're invested into it. And, I'm actually enjoying it a lot now.
Do you see that spike or that spark in him when he's doing it at all, Scuba?
He hasn't seen me do it yet.
I don't see him do it, but like he'll talk about it and stuff, even at the house and
you hear it in his voice and stuff. Yeah.
Well, Scuba's someone that I can call and he's not going to answer. But or when I'm at his house, we'll talk and we'll just bounce things back and forth and whether it be about the bike setup or about just the riding or just kind of relate things and he's someone that I can talk to because he's been through it with me.
Yeah.
And he's been through it with Jason and Baggett and Osborne. So it's one of those things where he has so much and I'm face to face because obviously I'm not going to get him on the phone. And, I can talk to him about it a lot and then go back to the track and use what he said and take out, the bad from each of us and kind of combine it.
That's super cool. And it's probably super gratifying when you're doing it too, to see I don't know, let's just say Carson execute the way that you were telling him or teaching him how to do it.
Yeah.
You're just like, wow, he did it. That's perfect. Like, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? And you're like building on it.
Yeah. There's some things that he, that he can just do on a dirt bike that most people, honestly can't or struggle to do. And he doesn't see that all as much as what we do from the outside.
Yeah.
And like I said, and that takes confidence and knowing that you can do whatever on dirt bike because you're in that I don't give a F type of attitude. Like I got this. He's so close to being there, and when that switch flips, it's game over for a lot of people.
Do you remember when you were like that when you had people coming at you talking like, we see so much in Davey, like we can see it, we just got to pull it out of him? Because that whole full circle thing is what I keep thinking of. It's cool.
Obviously, my mom was like that a lot. And then, my dad and Carlos and Thelma. And, even scuba and Kehoe. The list goes on.
Right.
But unfortunately for me, I had a group of people around me for a good period of my career that didn't have my best interest in mind.
Oh.
And, it was one of those things where, when I got Yogi, Yogi 100%, if it wasn't for Yogi at that time frame, it would have been just game over for me. So he is a big reason why he helped save my career, hands down.
Yeah.
So for him coming on board, but then it got to the point to where I just had like this sour attitude at some points, and like I said, realistically, I was a shithead. So for me, it was
I was waiting for that. You gave it to him.
Yeah, I did. I relied on my talent way too much versus hard work. And one thing I look back at regretting the most in my entire career is not sacrificing the hard work, sacrificing everything to put in the hard work and my talent combined. So,
well, I don't disagree with that statement at all, but you got to be a little less hard on yourself, because everybody, it doesn't matter whether you're sitting behind a computer, being an accountant or anything, everybody gets to a point where they get burnt.
Well, it's not even about getting burned. It was more so just living off talent. And, even though I got beat, but I was okay with one of those things.
This guy.
What?
When they were younger, used to take their bicycles, you, Johnson, Martine, and I forget who the hell else was with you guys, and they would take off on the bike rides, right? And then they'd go
on road bike rides.
Yep, and then into the ditch.
What do you mean?
They'd hide in the ditch.
For what?
My mom would come find us.
Yeah.
Well, she would try to come find us, or she'd be.
Oh, because you didn't want to go on a bike ride.
We didn't want to go. We didn't want to do anything like that.
Gotcha.
Just using those as one of the stories.
Yeah.
But the best part about the thing is she used to set the cruise on what?
16 miles an hour or something like that.
I forget exactly.
And she put the cruise on, and we have to go. She got to the point where she started figuring out that we weren't doing it.
That's like Rocky status, dude.
So she put it on cruise, and we'd have to go as fast as we can, obviously, to get away from her so we have a cushion. But she wasn't moving.
No.
I promise you that. She wasn't going to move.
No.
That's crazy.
So, but no, for me, I'm not being hard on myself. It's more so like, this is what I'm talking about as far as I can relay that back into somebody.
Right.
It's like, look, dude, like my career would have been so much better had I put the effort that, for one, Yogi tried to instill in me every day. And even before that. And my career would have been, way better.
Yeah.
But yes, I had a great career. I did. I had a good career. I had a career that, 99% of the people that I raced against would love to have.
Yeah, 100%.
But it's one of those things where it wasn't the career that I wanted to have.
Yeah, but that mentality that you carry because you're hard on yourself is what makes you good at helping other people.
And that's why I think I can, what I have to offer is all that stuff.
Yeah.
So,
and you understand that you don't want to have anybody else have that same feeling inside or whatever. What do you guys usually do now? Like, do you still go on bike rides? Do you still do training for yourself or no?
Yeah. I had a mountain bike race that I was supposed to do with my buddy Scott back in March or April, and it got canceled because of snow.
Oh man!
And then, but now he actually called me last week and was like, "Dude, let's do a half Ironman in October." And I'm like, "Damn it!" I'm like, okay. So we have a half Ironman coming up in October.
You think you're going to be ready for it? Have you ever done a triathlon?
Yeah, I've done an Olympic and a sprint, 2 sprints and an Olympic, and I think so. Yeah, 2 sprints or 1 sprint, whatever it was. But I did an Olympic, and then the run, hands down, no way on
the knees
on God's green earth will I ever be ready for the run.
Yeah,
but the swim and the bike, yeah, fine.
Got it.
1.2 and 56, yeah, okay. Now, am I going to win? I don't care, but I'm just going to do it.
Dude, I tell you what, I was fucking smoked after my half Ironman.
Yeah.
Dude, smoked. Like, I trained for 2 years for it, and I got 6th in class, so I didn't do too bad. But fuck, man, was I beat.
But swimming, I can swim like a fish. Like, I'm fine with swimming.
Oh, really? Yeah, I couldn't.
Yeah, see, I'm fine with swimming.
I was drowning. Where are you going to do it at? Do you know?
It's in Tempe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that'll be pretty good. You only swim in the lake, not in the ocean, at least.
It's in the channel or the canal, whatever it is.
Yeah, that Tempe Lake Center or whatever they have there.
I have no idea.
Yeah. So it's not ocean water, so that's good.
I won't swim in the ocean.
So, dude, I got so scared. I was practicing in the middle of Oceanside, like in the harbor, and I was like, oh my God, dude, this is sketchy.
Not happening.
Yeah. So I'm right there with you.
I'm floating bait.
Dude, that'd be cool though. I'm gonna definitely pay attention to
There's a lot there.
I'm gonna pay attention to your Instagram when you guys do that. You said October?
October.
Nice. Did you guys already sign up for it or whatever?
He signed up for it. I have to sign up for it still, but
you got to make sure you get in because there's like
no, I know
certain restrictions and all that shit. So
I'm gonna sign up. I was gonna sign up this week for it.
dude, I'm pumped that you said that. I'm stoked for you to go out there and do that. The bicycle ride, I think you'll freaking knock that out, no problem.
I mean, we'll see by then. I mean, my main goal for next year for 2022, Yogi wants to do it with me. We want to do qualify for Leadville 100. We want to do Leadville 100 because we did the 50. We want to do the 100.
What is that?
The mountain bike race.
It's called Leadville 100.
Yeah, so it's in Leadville, Colorado.
So 100 miles.
Yeah, but you're talking 11,000 feet elevation that you're in.
You don't get altitude sickness or anything, do you?
No.
Yeah.
So, but you know, 12,000 feet of climbing or something like that.
So how long is it? Like 6 hours?
No, for me, like my goal for like Yogi and I are talking about, like we would love to make it to where we get the big belt buckle, which is like 8.5 and under, 8.5 hours. So I think it's like 8.5 hours. Like if we could do that, great. If not, we want to be under 10.
Got it.
So it's gonna be a long ass time on a bicycle.
I was gonna say like it depending.
Because honestly, dude, like I'm too big. So for me, climbing, that's 12,000 feet of climbing.
Yeah.
I'm shot.
That's a lot of effort. That's a good ass goal to have, though.
Yeah. So I have.
You want to do it, Steve?
Nope. I'm good.
I'll go fishing.
Yep, I will.
You'll definitely fish for 8 hours.
That's pretty cool. Are you going to race that same bike? What's the bike that you
My
have?
Epic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice, dude. That'll be freaking awesome. So I know a lot of guys that are listening to the show right now are probably interested in those races, and that's next year?
Yeah, Yogi and I want to do it next year, but we have to qualify for it. We're either going to try to qualify before it to get in, or we're going to do the stage race, which is 3 days of the same course, but it's over 3 days.
Yeah.
And we do that, we get in. Mm-hmm. So we're going to either
Is it like the week before or something?
Yeah, kind of.
Whew, you're going to be burnt that week, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that would be awesome, though. And plus, that like adds a whole different layer of the, I don't know, abilities that you have when you talk to your riders, like when you talk to Carson. Be like, dude, look at all this shit that I just did.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's more so I enjoy that stuff, and I have a cardio bucket list that I want to accomplish. I want to do the Leadville 100.
Yeah.
I want to do a full Ironman, and I would love to do the Epic 6. And
what's the Epic 6?
Which is another 6-day event in Colorado. So 6 days of mountain bike in a row. And then
do you know what each event is or each day is?
It's a lot of climbing, and it's just all far. But I want to do that one. It's more of endurance, so it's long. Mm-hmm. And then we want to go back and do single track 7 or 6 days, which is in Canada. Which we did 3 days of that already, but we want to go back and we want to do the 6 days of that, and then I'm done.
Yeah, just be bucket list and you're out.
Then the bicycles can go away.
Dude, did you and
Captain
Yogi
will come in.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you and Yogi just sit at a restaurant and just be like, all right, we got to do these things?
Well, the 3 days we did the Trans Rockies, it was almost a bet with my old trainer. Not a bet, but he's like, oh, you won't do it. I'm like, yeah, I will. So I got Yogi a bicycle, me a bicycle, Martina a bicycle, my old mechanic Ben a bicycle, and my old trainer Pablo a bicycle. And I got them all bicycles. I paid for the stay. Paid for all the entry stuff. All they had to do was pay for a flight there. And that was it for Yogi. From that day on, Yogi was hooked on mountain biking. So
really? So he's into it.
Oh, yeah. He challenges me all the time, but he's 150 pounds. There's no way.
Yeah.
And he has something in his head to where he just clicks and it's just like, he just puts the hammer down and doesn't care. He'll go out and do 5-6 hour days. And I'm like, dude, you're high, man.
Yeah,
that's
like I can last forever. So that's what.
But his kids are older, so he can go out and do it. Where my kids are young, you know, and it's 105 degrees in Havasu right now, so it's getting hot.
Dude, I was gonna say, like, if you guys are gonna do the half Ironman in October, you're gonna be fucking sweating this summer.
But good thing I'm gonna be in Havasu. I mean, out here in California a lot this summer, so I'll be able to ride a lot more and actually do a lot more mountains and
Well, let me know when you guys go. I'll cruise along on the e-bike with you guys. Well, talking about Havasu, what's the favorite place that you've lived? Because you've not just lived in one spot. You've lived in a bunch of different places.
Yeah.
Actually, Steve, you could probably actually answer that, too. What's the favorite place that you lived, man?
Georgia.
You like Georgia that much? Yeah? Yeah, it doesn't seem like Davy's feeling it that
No,
much.
I like Georgia. I like Florida. Obviously, it's my home, but I mean, probably my favorite was North Carolina.
Really?
Yeah.
I've heard so many people say that.
Yeah.
That North Carolina is the bomb.
North Carolina, South Carolina, like in that area was beautiful, minus the wintertime.
Because it's so cold.
It's so cold. So, I mean, honestly, yes. I think if I had to pick a spot that you said, hey, if you had one place that you had to pick, you could only get one, where would it be? It'd be Florida, hands down.
Well,
But
what was the reason that you guys moved to Havasu then?
that's where my wife's from.
Oh, okay.
So
you guys just moved out there with the
her
kids? and
family's
stuff?
there, and her parents are amazing with my kids. And, I mean, they're absolutely amazing grandparents. So, her mom's there, dad's there, brother's there, sister-in-law's there, niece, nephew, grandma, and great aunt. They all live there.
Now you just got to put a couple miles on the truck getting back and forth. That's all, huh?
I bought my truck in November, and I got 11,500 on it already.
Dang. So we just got a new Sprinter for the for the Dirt Life show, and in the first month I put 5,000 miles on it.
Yeah, no, I wasn't planning on it. I got rid of my diesel because I'm like, I'm not really going anywhere. Like, I'm good. And then I got the phone call.
Oh, great. Right when you said no matter what, that's the way it happens,
Yep.
right? What's your plans for like 2021 and, well, I guess 2022 and beyond?
For me right now, it's getting Carson back to, not back to, but where he should
getting
be.
him on the podium. Yeah.
And, and then obviously the offseason and into Supercross for him.
Is he doing motocross?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
So I know he got hurt in Atlanta, and then today I think was his 6-day back riding.
Do pretty good today?
Yeah, he did good today. It was more so testing his shoulder out quite a bit more today.
Yeah.
With longer motos. And then, I mean, I would love to get one more kid. That way, those two can ride with each other every day and battle like what I used to have.
Yeah.
But
that always helps, man.
Yes, it always helps. But to finding that kid is an
Do you
issue.
have any people in your head? Not yet.
I mean, there's a lot of people that I would love to get my hands on, but then you have I would love Max Volan, but he has his dad Talon.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, Talon obviously is Talon. And then
just like a few of the things that you brought up today, like when we were talking with Shorter on the FaceTime call about saying how the details that you gave on Webb's personality and his race characteristics and stuff like that, like 90% of us that could say we're good dirt bike riders can't see that.
Yeah.
Like that's something that's invaluable for anybody that could use that information, dude. It's pretty cool that you can dwindle it down like to those little idiosyncrasies, right?
I mean, for me, it's when I watch a race, I'm going to watch the race,
Yeah.
and I'm going to try to pick out any little thing because obviously I want to learn too. I want to learn to be able to give that knowledge, to somebody else. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of kids that I would love to work with. It's just one of those things that who are they with right now? There's so many trainers out there. So
yeah, exactly. It's like a whole new breed, right?
Yeah.
Well, dude, I'm pumped that you guys came down and had a good time. Steve, we're going to do the rapid fire Q&A. That's why I gave it to you. But so I'm pumped that you came down, dude. Obviously, you're working with Carson and you had the availability. So, Steve, I appreciate you lining all this stuff up and getting Davey to come in. And, man, it was awesome for you to share your story, especially with a guy like me that's been a fan and then our audience and stuff. All right, you want to do this rapid fire Q&A real quick?
Let's go.
Steve, how about you go for the first question?
Hard shell or soft tacos?
Hard shell.
That was some of these are submitted by John Lewis of Desert Squadron. He was on a 12-hour drive, so he wanted to submit some of these bad boys.
He must have gone through Del Taco.
Yeah. Cholula or Tapatio?
Cholula.
Cholula? What? Really?
Tapatio's too hot, man.
Oh, you're not a big spicy guy? What's the next one, Steve?
Chicken or asada?
You should know that one.
I don't know.
Chicken.
Chicken all day.
All day.
Do you do meal planning and stuff like that for the riders, or you just do coaching and training schedules and stuff?
I mean, I'm trying to help Carson out a little bit more with his nutrition and feed him into that. Like I said, I can offer all that because
right.
But the more he starts to open up and reach out to me and want help in a lot of different areas, I'm game.
That's what I was saying, because
So-
there's a lot of times I've gotten so many people like doing all those physical things like what you do, like Ironman and stuff like that. So many people, dude, I could help you. I'm just like, back the fuck up. So like when you're saying like you go into it with an open mind, but an understanding of waiting so they can come to you with it, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna overstep. What I'm there for.
Exactly. Dunes or the river?
River.
We do that one.
3-wheeler or quad?
My father-in-law would say 3-wheeler hands down, but I'm gonna say quad.
You're going quad, God?
I don't think I've ever ridden a 3-wheeler, man.
All right. Since you didn't really want us to ask this question, we're going with Roxon or Webb.
I don't mind the one that's on there.
All right. Cinderella or Osborne?
Osborne.
Going Osborne. I know that you did.
Only because I grew up with Zach, and I've known Zach for so long, and
Did you miss him when he was overseas?
No, but AC, AC is a great human. He's a great person,
100%,
and he's really cool to watch. So for me, I like the way AC rides and just who he is. But knowing Zach personally and I rode with Zach for a while and whatnot, it's just that connection, So, but I would go Roxon for the other one.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite rider right now? Or you just love everybody? Because everybody asked me that same question. I'm like, I can't pick, dude. I don't care. There could be 15 people, and I would pick the dude that's having the best day or the dude that's coming back from the back of the pack, whatever it is.
No, honestly, my favorite. Are you talking about 450s or 250s?
Let's go 450s.
Roxon, just not Kenny now. Kenny, who he can be.
Yeah.
So, and he's still in there. He just needs to unlock himself to come back.
Dude, I couldn't agree more, man. Every time I see him come off the track, kind of like the way that you did, and you picked apart Cooper Webb's style. You can see that his arms hurt. You can see that he when he goes to undo his chin strap, he can barely get it.
I don't know any of that. It could be arm pump, it could be tired, it could be elbow. I did the same thing to my elbow as he did, and it sucks hands down. But for him, I'm not in his shoes. I don't know. Obviously, I would love to help him.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But hands down, I'm sorry to the other 21 guys on the gate. If he unlocks himself, you're all beat. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's just that badass. Yeah. I agree. All right, Steve, what's the next one?
Pizza rolls or jalapeno poppers?
Pizza rolls. I don't like jalapenos.
At all? Dude, I literally just made jalapeno tacos yesterday. So it's just jalapeno with cheese.
My wife had jalapeno margaritas yesterday.
Really? Dude, that sounds good. So she's the tequila girl?
Oh, yeah.
And you're the captain guy?
Yeah.
Favorite soda? Oh, no. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
All right, Steve. I gave away the next one.
Favorite soda?
Zevia.
Dude, that stuff sounds good. So I actually think that Casey, our listener, or my old co-host, would actually like this because Zevia, you said, is...
It's a natural soda.
Right, but it's all the different flavors, but it's all clear.
It's all clear.
It just doesn't have the dye.
Mm-hmm.
That's so good. I think that's fantastic, man, because that just takes out one more set of the chemicals. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
I don't know. I'd like to fly.
You think you want to? What about teleporting? You like the feeling of flying?
I hate planes.
Really? We were just yeah.
Teleporting. Yeah, I would love to be able to teleport, but I guess teleport where though?
Anywhere. Have you seen that movie Jumper, where the dude just
So you're talking about in the same
if right now when you're done with the show, you can be like, oh, I'm just gonna teleport home real quick.
It's almost like flying.
Yeah,
but you don't get to see everything.
Yeah, the exploration part of it, huh? So Steve and I were actually talking about it. We went to the bomb shelter, which is a place that does skydiving and stuff in Southern California. And I was like, yeah, I would love to do that. And everybody else sitting there was like, nope, I'm not jumping out of a perfectly good airplane.
I've done it. It's badass.
Yeah, see, I'm right there with him. I'm with Davey, man.
No, thanks.
Have you done it?
No, I want to.
You should.
Yeah, I'm super into it.
Should.
It's definitely high on the bucket list.
It needs to be. It's that good.
No.
You're not doing it?
No way.
Would Britt do it?
She would before
Not
him.
right now
hands
with her
down.
back. Not a chance in hell.
I'm gonna get her to do it just so that you go.
Honestly,
still won't do it.
I think that when her back gets better, she would do it before him.
I want to go, man. All right, what's the next one?
Most memorable race.
Dude, and I always tell people when we ask this question, like, it doesn't have to be your baddest race. I mean, like, it could not even be in 2013. Like, my most memorable race was with Sean Hamlin at Glen Helen. He hole shot, took off. I got taken out in the first turn, and I came back, and we were on 80s, and I came back, and I was on his tire at the finish line. I didn't win, but I made up all that ground, and I was almost like half a lap down. And I remember being like at the end of the race. That's my favorite race of all time in my career.
I mean, obviously, I have a lot of good races, in pro. Whether it be Salt Lake was probably a really good one. San Diego and Anaheim, obviously. But for me, 2003 at Loretta Lynn's, it was in the A class, and it was the last moto. It took off, and
Who was in that moto?
Ryan Mills, Jacob Saylor, Ryan Sipes, myself. There was a dude from Ohio in there. Not
Pretty stacked class.
Not Graysick. Sean?
What the hell's his name?
Pretty stacked class.
I mean,
Willie Browning.
Willie Browning was, but it was Sean something. He's the one that took me out. He took me out down the starting line, and because they all had to beat me to win.
Oh, because you had a 1-1 already.
I had
or 2-1.
I had a 1-2, and or no, I had a 1-1. Yeah, or something like that. And they had to beat me. So, and Nick Adams. But he took me out on the starting line, and dude, my freaking bike was backwards. I was everywhere. I had to go find it. I picked it up. Tony Alessi was standing right there in front of me, and he's like, "Go get him." It was like just weird because Tony, obviously, I'm a fan. And I turned around, and as I turned around, the last place guy, which was me, but the one in front of me, was entering the 10 Commandments, which is all the way.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 turns.
Straightaways, too.
Yeah.
And there's only 8 laps. And I caught back up almost to Ryan Sipes to beat him for the win.
No way.
So,
dude, you were on a mission.
That was one of the most memorable races I had at Loretta. And even to this day, if you go back to people who were there, they're like, that was the best race we've ever seen.
Yeah.
So,
like, that was one of the days that you were just in the zone.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm glad that you answered it. Like, were you there, Steve?
No.
2003? No,
I wasn't there.
Man. See, I would have loved to have
seen him. He didn't want to get his car dirty, though.
Oh, jeez. Here we go.
I'm not driving down Loretta Lynn's road.
Nope.
This shit's going to get mud on it.
Yep.
All right, Steve, what's the next one, bud?
Favorite flavor of ice cream?
Vanilla.
Dude, you're just a vanilla guy?
Yeah, I can't do chocolate.
I was a dude. You know what the most popular is?
He hates it when I make ice cream at the house.
Why? Because you're going chocolate?
He makes chocolate syrup. It's not even ice cream.
You're
it's just
loading
syrup.
it up.
Oh yeah, love it,
dude. So the most common one has been mint chocolate chip, and I hate when people answer mint chocolate chip now. So vanilla is totally cool, dude. You pass. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Netflix or YouTube?
Neither.
Don't even watch it. Are you a big social media guy or not really?
Dude. I've been trying to get better.
Yeah,
but not really.
Yeah, you just don't care about it.
I mean, I try, but it's like that wasn't my era growing up. You know, it's not. I had MySpace.
Oh, John Lewis was saying it was at Collier.
No, Sean Collier was there too, but no. I want to say his name was Sean. He's not from California.
From Ohio?
I want to say he was from Ohio, somewhere on the East Coast. He was on a Kawasaki, and he was I want to say he was number 30 in 2003 in the A class at Loretta's.
Dude, you got a good ass memory, man.
So,
telling you,
I think it was Sean.
All right, we'll just go with the next question. What do you guys think? Supercross or motocross?
Supercross.
Kind of already picked it. Are you pumped that motocross is starting up right now, though?
Kind of, yeah. Honestly, truth be told, when I went to Canada to race the nationals there in 2016, I had so much fun racing the outdoors. And I'm like, you know what? When I retire, I'm going to go back. I want to go back there. but obviously
To Canada?
Yeah, dude, it was so much fun.
Really?
It was so much fun. Not because I won, but dude, the atmosphere. It reminded me of a lot of what the amateur days were, where everyone talked to each other. There was no animosity between either right, even though I still didn't like Michael Lessie being there. But it was just, dude, it was fun. Like, you went to the starting line, everyone was laughing, joking. You got done racing, everyone was talking.
Yeah.
You don't have that here.
Way more like the local vibe instead of like the.
It was what motocross used to be.
Actually, that's something that I wanted to ask Steve personally. Like, when you go to the track now, is it like just so much business that you can't have fun, or do you guys keep it light? I know that you do because of the way that you manage
I try
the team,
to keep it light, but depends on
He's
who's
always
there.
business.
I mean,
Here we go.
well, I get it though, right? Like, I understand the whole business vibe, and I understand it, but that's exactly the reason that like I like the way this show is, because the show is not business, right? The show is we can just talk about whatever. Like, we have to thank sponsors and stuff, but the show is just us sitting around talking. Like, exactly what Davy's saying. Right after the races in Canada, you can go and you can do whatever. Like, that's what I like about it, and I think that's what a lot of people miss about going to the Supercrosses, because it's so business now, you know? Well, I guess with COVID kind of even made it worse, huh?
It was way worse.
Yeah, COVID.
All right, 2 more questions.
Yep.
What's the next one, Steve?
What other form of racing would you like to try?
Dude, this can be anything. I always tell everybody, dude, it could be those like little fucking sketchy power boats. It could be monster trucks. It could be whatever. Red Bull Air Race.
No, I don't like planes.
Have you
I
seen
run
those
my
fucking
planes.
helicopters that'll do the flip?
Yeah, no, I'm good on that one. Honestly, it would be the side-by-side stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
What about like a trophy truck? You just pick side by side still? Trophy trucks are so expensive, dude.
I would pick a side-by-side just because, I don't know, looks fun.
Yeah. Maybe we
So.
should try to see if we can get you in one of these days. What do you think if he races side by side?
That'd be sketchy.
Oh,
Just make
on,
sure he
man.
doesn't take his suit off. It's a mandatory 20 minutes, no matter what. Suits off, 20 minutes.
Could you do it? Could you race for 2 hours or whatever? Because you got to wear the freaking condom catheter. You got to take a piss like while you're driving.
Yeah, sure.
Could you do it? Yeah. It's not a big deal. Everybody always complains about it though. All right, man. The final question of the night, submitted by John Lewis. Thank you very much for doing all that. Tacos or hamburger?
Hamburgers.
Hamburger? Where are you going, Steve? Tacos or hamburgers?
Hamburgers.
All day. I'm the only taco guy on the show, John. I guess I'm the only taco guy here tonight. So, dude, that's awesome, man. We got a couple personal messages that came in. People are stoked about you coming on the show and hanging out with us, dude. So, really appreciate it. Thank you very much, like I said, Steve, for lining it all up. Man, you got anything else you want to say? Hi to the kids?
I don't even know if they're listening, but I know Dane every time I come out, like, because he gets bummed that I have to come out without him.
Oh.
Because he likes hanging out with Carson, and he likes watching Carson ride, and he likes being a part of it. And then now all of a sudden my daughter was getting upset that I was leaving now for the week. Now she wanted to come with me, and I'm like,
because
you guys
her
have
boyfriend.
Stop it.
Just
Now,
saying.
now, they're still in school till the 27th. So I told him, I said, when they get out of school, then I'll take one of you guys at a time. And Bryn really likes Ezra. She really
right
likes
on.
Ezra. So they get along just fine.
So they get bummed when Dad leaves without him?
Well, no, like, it's been forever. Like,
Yeah.
probably since she's year and a half or
Almost-
two.
Almost 2 years since they've seen each other.
Yeah,
Been about
but
2 years.
she, like, when she was younger, like, she just was attached to him for whatever reason.
That's
no
cool.
idea.
Because he was attached to her.
Yeah, that's cool, though.
Here we go.
I'm glad that they have that close relationship, though.
Yeah.
And Casey said, here we go, Steve said, with the 20 minutes again. What about Smash Burger? Spam Burger? I don't know what he said. Yeah, Spam Burger. I don't know what a Spam Burger is, do you?
Spam?
I think he's talking. There's
Sizzle pork and
Ugh, I don't want that,
there's a
dude.
Smash Burger. Like, they make them back. There's a company.
Yeah,
I know
those
Habit Burger.
Smash Burgers are fucking awesome. I think he's talking about Spam Burgers. I don't think anybody likes that, John. Or
I think Smash
Casey.
Burger's in Atlanta.
They have them in Phoenix, dude.
I don't know. I've never been.
Yeah, they're good. They got these little things called Haystack. They're like these little crispy onion ring things. They're
I don't
so
like onions.
They're not like onions. I hate onions too. and they're like little crispy things. But anyways, dude, stoked that you came in.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it, man. You've had a fantastic career. I know that you said you want to do stuff better, but I don't think many people would be bummed on the career that you've had. So it was really cool to go through these memories with you guys, and I'm stoked that we got to talk a little bit more about the behind the scenes stuff, like more daily life stuff than just racing stuff. So
Yeah, for sure.
I appreciate you sharing all that stuff with our audience. So if you wanted to take a look at anything that Davey has, I know he's not a big social media guy, but you can check out at Davi Millsaps on Instagram. And it's at DAVI MILLSAPS. You can always hit Steve up. He's never going to get back to you, though.
Just ask David.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
Easy with the David.
So next week we have a show at Jeffrey's Performance out in Phoenix, Arizona. It's going to be pretty awesome. We're going to talk with them about side-by-side builds. We're going to have a whole taco party. We're going to have a really good time talking with RJ. We're going to have a good time talking with Lindsey Geyser. It should be just a really, really good show. Who knows who else will pop in. Really appreciate Davey and excuse me, Scuba, for taking the time with us, and Steve for lining all this stuff up. We want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. You guys submitted so many comments and questions and messages on my cell phone. I really, really appreciate it. Excuse me. Thank you very much to all the guys at KMC. Thank you to the guys at EFX Tires. Thank you to the guys at Shock Therapy. You can use the code DIRTLIFE at shocktherapist.com. Thing you guys at Zollinger Racing Products. You can use the code DIRTLIFE at ZollingerRacingProducts.com. Save a whole bunch of money over there. Thank you to the guys at Cryo Heat. These guys are always making awesome, awesome parts for their Polaris Razor transmissions and, doing all kinds of good metal treatments. And thank you to the guys at Solder Weld for their off-road repair kit and their welding blankets. You can use the code DIRTLIFE at solderweld.com and save a whole bunch of money there, too. All right, Davey. We're going to take off, man.
Sounds good.
We'll see you guys later. Good night.
Thanks for listening to The Dirt Life Show.